Hello, my beautiful friends. What an amazing day it is. Presidential Address to Congress Day. One of the best, especially when it's Trump back for a second time. We got a bunch of stuff we're going to get to today before the big event unfolds. And we're very excited you're here. Thank you for deciding to watch this with us today. I think that it is going to be an epic address, and we're excited for it. But we do have some time, and until the president is in front of Congress, we have some other business to attend to. According to the most recent and official schedule, what we've got is the president will be there 9:10 to deliver the joint address to Congress. And I've been wanting all day to call it the State of the Union, because it certainly feels like a State of the Union, but he hasn't been responsible for the Union for the last 4 years. So it's an address. Next year, it'll be the State of the Union based on what he has accomplished, which will be a lot. So we'll go through this, and he's obviously going to have a lot to say of the accomplishments that have already been achieved thus far, because it has been fast and furious. And so we got a little bit of time until the president comes out. We also can peer inside the congressional building. Oh, they just changed that screen on me. Dang it. So here's what it looked like earlier, just minutes ago. Bunch of people inside the halls. The news crews are there. Everybody's recording some footage and getting their stings in before the president makes his way over. So Fox is obviously inside there, and we can see a ton of activity. We've also got a bunch of activity on the 4x4. So paying attention to what's happening right now. I just saw we had Tim Walz, who was on there with somebody over from MSNBC and the Rachel Maddow crew. We also saw we had another representative on with the Fox folks. So we'll keep our eye on this, and we'll see what's poking around over there. And, of course, once the president makes his way over, we will jip over to that exclusively. This is now back live inside the Oval Office. I'm sorry, inside the Capitol building, not the Oval Office. And so we'll keep our eye on that. But we have a bunch of other business to attend to. And I want to talk about this scam from the Democrats where they were copying and pasting all of their videos from today. There were something like 22 of them that we'll come back on. And I think I've got an idea of who's behind it, because we read this article when we were doing a Membo stream some time ago, and it chronicles, I think, what this new strategy is. This guy, Brian Tyler Cohen. So we'll come back on that. He's another YouTuber. And I think we'll unpack the person and the crew responsible for this, not with any definitiveness, but they are, of course, just robots and NPCs. They just copy and paste each other constantly. That's what their whole party's about. We've got a bunch of reaction from the Republicans. Mike Johnson's going to give us a preview on what's coming down. He's bringing some guests. The Democrats are bringing some guests. They're protesting. We've got Dan Goldman, who saw a Nazi sign outside the Capitol, and he's having a meltdown over it. So we got a lot of preview for what's happening. We also then had some litigation, and we were hoping for some Supreme Court updates, but I'm not sure we're going to get any Supreme Court updates today. But we also see that Hampton Dellinger, okay, that special counsel who weaseled his way back into the executive office, into the White House, into the executive branch more specifically, he is trying to drag in 5,000 more people that Trump fired. Okay, so he was fired, came back in, tried to bring in a handful of people around him, and now is trying to bring back 5,000 more people into the executive branch, right? It's like an insurrection. It's like a coup that is being executed or facilitated by federal judges called Amy Berman Jackson. So we'll read through that. Now, there's a parallel case, which is this case, which is the Kathy Harris firing. So this woman was also fired. She also sued, and they also shoved her back in. And this is the person who runs the agency to which Hampton Dellinger reports and files his claims. So we're just establishing an entire operation, in other words, that is collecting to interfere with the lawful operation of the executive branch. We'll come back. We'll take a quick look at that. We got Zelensky news as well, and an update. We were hearing that maybe there was going to be notice of a signing today, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Jacqui Heinrich over from Fox is saying that the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, is saying there's not going to be a minerals deal signing today, all right? There is no signing planned. There was reporting on this from Reuters, but that report is not true, saying there's been no movement on this yet. And we'll read through Zelensky's kind of apology, I think. It's kind of being framed as an apology, but the guy's such an egomaniac that that is obviously not going to happen. So bunch of stuff that we're going to get to today, and we're going to keep our eye on what's happening. Hey, here's Scott Bessent over on Fox. Let's jump into this one just a little bit.
Accords to ending the government.
Home, we are going to continue the surge in small business confidence that was at a record level when President Trump came in. We're cutting red tape, we're cutting regulations, and we're going to get bank lending going again.
The last 6 weeks have brought radical change, but the White House isn't satisfied. President Biden left a gaping hole in...
That was Scott Bessent. Of course, we are excited to hear what the president says about this and a bunch of other things. Before we get into all of this great fun, you know what we got to talk about? Being healthy, because the Democrats have spent the last 4 years and then some forcing health mandates on us, trying to manage our health. And now, once the American people have spoken, they're trying to take back control over our health, even though RFK Jr. is in there. Now we're in control. Well, Americans' confidence in healthcare has hit a 24-year low. There's a lot of changes coming down the pike, but they're not here yet. And there's no need to wait to reclaim our health today. That's why I love Field of Greens. Now, we all know eating healthy is the key to staying healthy, right? But life gets busy. Sticking to a perfect diet isn't always realistic. And Field of Greens makes it easy. It's whole fruits and vegetables, and that's it. And we could all use more of that in our diet, right? Just one drink, you got a healthy head start on the day. Now, a lot of people notice a lot of difference. Some people say more energy, more gut health, better overall feeling. And it's a nice routine to get into to be healthy. So every fruit and vegetable in Field of Greens is doctor selected for specific health benefits. There's heart health group, lungs, kidney, metabolism groups, even healthy weight veggies in there. It's great. Now, in Field of Greens also promises that your next checkup, your doctor will notice your improved health, or you're going to get your money back. And we got a 20% discount for you. So let's get you started. Go to fieldofgreens.com. You'll see it on your screen. And what you can do is type in code Robert when you check out, load up, use code Robert. You're going to save 20% off. And remember, my friends, the vegetables want to be eaten. That is why they are here on this planet. So make sure you eat yours and support our friends at Field of Green who are supporting your health with Field of Greens. Check it out, fieldofgreens.com, use promo code Robert and save. All right, now let's get into the business on the day, because the Democrats had a weird day today. Tough day for Democrats out there. They're trying to reinvent themselves and create a new social media narrative that they're out there fighting for their constituents and so on and so forth. And so they're creating videos, vertical videos that are like really hip and fast paced, and they use the S word because they're so cool now. And it is not a bad idea for them to actually communicate to the American people in a real, authentic way about what their plans are. Of course, we appreciate when they do that, because then they lose elections. But that's not what we're seeing here today. Libs of TikTok grabbed this one, and you can see we had these 3 senators all publishing the same videos. Now, it just started out as 3, and some pretty big names here: Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, and Chuck Schumer. Now, 3 is certainly strange. Like, why are you guys so dumb that you can't write your own scripts to your videos? Why are they all literally the exact same, right?
I win, I will immediately bring prices down.
Same editing.
That ain't true. That's what you just heard. Since day one of Donald Trump's presidency, prices are
Hey,
not
same
down.
script. We don't need to hear it. They're annoying individually, but you multiply them, your brain will literally explode. So we can't play it. But exactly the same. Okay, same script, same writing, and it's a copy and paste of one another. Now, that's bad enough. It's these 3 doofuses all doing it. But then their day got worse, because somebody found there were more. Here's 2 more who joined in on the fun. We've got the space cadet from Arizona, who also can read a script. Great job there, Mark Kelly. Nice job. And then we had Tim Kaine, the weird dude who lost with Hillary Clinton. And they're doing the same thing. It's the same script. And I want to point out, because we're going to identify who I think is behind all this, these little microphones, okay? Notice these little handheld microphones like all the TikTok kids are doing? They're all doing that, right? All the same edits, all the same script. It's a template. And I know how to do some minor basic video editing, as you've seen here. Not great on this channel, but I try, right? And our team is much better. But we understand how this works. I've seen how this software works, and I know exactly what's happening. They're all reading a script, and they're just using the same B-roll footage. It's Elon with the chainsaw, the same subtitles and more. Right now, it goes to 5. It gets even worse, because then you elevate it, and lo and behold, look at all of them. There's 22 of them. It's like a fourth of the Democrat. It's like a fourth of the Senate. It's like one half of the Democrats, okay, in the Senate. 22 Democrat senators, same scripts, same B-roll, same little handheld microphones, same editing styles with the cuts and the pop-ins and all the things, right? 22 of them, like good little pathetic robots who cannot think for themselves. They get told to just do your homework and they do it like little peons. It's pathetic. And the message itself is pathetic, but it's more pathetic to just see how they operate. Okay. Somebody else was managing this. There was some agency behind it who was constructing this for these people who can't think for themselves to just go out and read a script. And of course they did. Now, earlier, we read an article called Semaphore this was about 2 weeks ago on February 17th. We read this during a members only stream. And it was an interesting thing that came up because we thought to ourselves, oh, the Democrats are going to start copying and pasting and doing exactly what they're doing. And we commented about this, and we'll come back and read this. But the question is, who's behind this? Okay, who's the puppet master pulling all the strings? Well, Cory Booker says, when Elon asked, he says, look, now we're up to 22 Democrats all doing the same cringe video simultaneously. I will buy a Cybertruck for anyone who can provide proof of who wrote this particular piece of propaganda. The first person to post proof in the replies to this post gets the truck. Oh, dang. I didn't realize there was a truck at stake here. Well, I think I know who did it. And what happened was Cory Booker says, clearly you are triggered by the truth. It was me. Keep your truck. I don't think so, Cory. I think I know who it is. And Elon, if you're out there, I'd love a Cybertruck. Now, here is what this article said. This came out from Semaphore. This is a paywalled article, so you got to go behind the scenes to get it. It's published on February 17th. Max Tanny is the person who wrote it. And I think I clicked a link like a doofus. So let me undo that. Here is where we were. It tells us that after months of licking their wounds, the Democrats, this was 2 weeks ago, and their digital creators aligned privately. And they created this little planning operation. Democratic operatives gathered at the wharf in Washington, D.C. at Lauren Powell Jobs' company, right? And that's Steve Jobs' wife, widow. They did this at the Emerson Collective. According to 3 people with knowledge familiar of the event, the activist and the left-leaning media members were in town for a private meeting to discuss how the left's well-funded digital media ecosystem failed. So they were there workshopping this. Man, we got dunked on by the Republicans. In a room were a bunch of people. Ben Wessel, he does some operation. This person from the Soros Fund, their leading investor, and more. Now, in the wake of their loss, Democrats have been on a months-long party-wide effort to figure out what to do. How can we reshape our media? Here it comes. The private event at the wharf was one of several efforts in recent days to shore up Democrats' digital strategies post-inauguration. Earlier this week, dozens of lawmakers from the House and the Senate participated in private briefings with Brian Tyler Cohen. Now, if you look up Brian Tyler Cohen, he's a big YouTuber. He's got almost, I think, 1 million subs, maybe more. So he does this type of content, short-form content. He's a political influencer and the co-founder of Chorus, a Democratic digital group. The briefings laid out what Cohen described to Semaphore as tips to help Democratic members better get their messages out on new media platforms. See it? He presented the members with do's and don'ts for short-form video and text, encouraging them to vastly increase the frequency of their posts and not overly workshop their online content. Now, to make his point, Cohen noted that Elon had posted or retweeted hundreds of posts. Elon's just all day, right? It's a volume game in many ways. Any content creators out there, it's just a volume game. Cohen pointed to positive examples of Democratic content that had done well, like Tim Kaine. He also recommended a particular type, of small microphone popular with online content creators that members and their staff should have for whenever they decide to post, right? So he's sitting around. I know what happened in this room. They're sitting around in this room. They're saying, man, your stuff is all problematic. Here's how to do it. You need a mic. You need this. Here's a script. Do this. Do this. All these senators, their eyes just glaze over, right? Their brains are fried. So what? Post what on the what talk now? What? I'll just do it for you, okay? I'm going to order you this mic. I'm going to order you this, and it's all going to come, and you're just going to read the stupid scripts. You're going to send me the video file back. My team's going to edit it. Then I'm going to send it back to you. Then you're going to post it. In the months since the election, Cohen's group, Chorus has repositioned itself and set up a digital quasi-assignment desk where lawmakers on Capitol Hill and prominent Democrats elsewhere can connect directly on the back end with creators, look, to facilitate one-on-one interviews or otherwise get their message out. So this dude and his company, Chorus, set up a portal for the Democrats. Cohen told Semaphore that after his briefing with Senate Democrats, several members, including Mark Kelly, opened up a new account on Threads and Blue Sky. A lot of these members of Congress understand the moment we're in, and so now they're just reading scripts from what I think is, in my opinion, Brian Tyler Cohen, or his company called Chorus. They had a meeting in the months since. The initial shock has been wrecking them. They can't figure out what to do about it. Some of the operatives that gathered at the wharf have large budgets, and now they're spending it on digital newsrooms and more. Still, some national Democrats clearly understand they got to prop themselves up, and now they're trying to get on TikTok-friendly videos, just like the ones that we saw. And they're following this forum moderated by Chorus. So it's probably Chorus. It's probably Brian Tyler Cohen. I would love a Cybertruck. I don't know if Elon's listening. Elon, we love you if you are. But that would be great to have them continue to do this, because it just, I think, exposes how dumb they are. It's like, you can't even make a real authentic video. You have to sound like an NPC robot like the rest of your Democratic colleagues. It's embarrassing. We hope they do a lot more of this, and that way we can dunk on them repeatedly. But back during our member stream, we essentially called this out. I said, oh man, Brian Tyler Cohen's going to set up an agency. I said, this dude is going to make so much money off these Democrats because he could bill them whatever he wants. Okay, so shout out to Chorus, shout out to Brian Tyler Cohen, or if they're involved in any of this, they're cleaning up, and good for them. Good for them to exploit the Democrats for their idiocy. Oh yeah, we're going to make a real good video for you. Just read this script. Meanwhile, he obliterates their entire campaign with one post. Great job to whoever was behind that. All right, so the Democrats are also tonight, they're going to be bringing in some folks to, I guess, parade around. So they're bringing in this woman. Senator Tina Smith says, Musk and Trump should have to face the hardworking park rangers that they sacked. And so I'm bringing Kate, who was unjustly fired from northern Minnesota's Voyageurs National Park, to the State of the Union. All right, so Kate's going to be there. So she got fired. She'll have to get a new job somewhere else, which is going to be okay. It'll be a nice change in her life and all that. We support her well. We wish her well. But she's going to, of course, go there, be a Democratic superstar, probably end up on MSNBC. So that's going to be great for her. Now, meanwhile, elsewhere today, yesterday, Maxine Waters was trying to break into another building. She's trying to break into multiple federal buildings, but they just kind of laugh at her like, who's this crazy woman here again? Ma'am, are you homeless? Do you need a phone number? And they rejected her again. Here was Maxine.
We would like to give the letter to him.
It's a really group that, this is the chair, ranking member. We deal with all the other issues. That's all. This is not like we understand. Some renegade group trying to come in and steal the city. I know who you are.
Okay, so we'd like to deliver the letter to him.
I can make sure he gets a letter.
I'll take it for you.
We'll deliver it on your behalf.
We can make sure he gets a letter.
Okay, well, let me just understand very clearly. I know you can deliver. Are you saying that I won't be allowed to deliver?
He's in a double right now.
Oh, he's not here?
No, he is. He's in a meeting right now.
He's here.
Yeah.
And he's not available right now. And we would like to deliver it to him.
That's correct.
But we can't go no matter
No.
what and deliver it to him ourselves.
I'm happy to deliver the letter for you.
I beg your pardon?
I'm happy to deliver.
I know you are, but are you refusing me?
I'm not refusing him. I told you, he's in a meeting right now. He has to show the same respect to
Okay,
other people that he's meeting with.
should we wait until he comes out of the meeting?
I think he's going to be here for a while, so.
It's okay, I can stay all night.
We'll deliver the letter for you.
We'll deliver the letter for you.
That's what we can do.
Somebody get her a couch.
I'll
I'll tell you what. Let me see if I can get him to
Okay.
deliver the letter. You want to watch this Trump analysis video? Whoa!
Awfully close to an insurrection over here. All right.
Yeah, so people are going to be physically alive.
Causing a scene. Oh, it's Rashida. It's Rashida.
Please let them in. Members of the committee, please allow them to come. Excuse me, gentlemen, please
Wow, this is like breaking and entering, basically. Harassing the police, Homeland Security. These are just men who are just trying to do their job here, not be harassed by whiny Congress people who are trying to undermine the will of the American people. So shout out to those cops, American heroes, trying to keep them out. Now, meanwhile, the Democrats were out there today and they were out in force. Look at all these signs, man. And this lady is pissed. She's like, Trump sucks at golf, which I don't think is true. I actually think he's pretty good, legitimately. I don't know much about golf, but I think other people have said that. What did that sign say? Jeez, gosh.
Impeach Trump! Impeach Trump! Down with treason! Down with Putin!
These people have a potty mouth. Their mama needs to wash their mouths out with soap. That is bad behavior. You shouldn't put that on a public sign. There are kids out there, man. Why would you say something like that? Sick people. All right, now, this is Dan Goldman. Now, he was in Congress today, and he was walking around. He saw some of these potty mouth liberals, and he was upset about it. He saw a swastika. Now, you didn't see a swastika in that one clip, but there's going to be one coming up next, and I want to show you who was the person with the Adolf imagery and the swastika. Was it a right-winger, or was it some psycho-leftist? Let's take a look in a minute after this clip.
When I was walking over here after we just voted, outside the Capitol, I saw a huge poster with a swastika on it.
Oh, no.
And I know you've spoken a lot about the rise of anti-Semitism, anti-Israel sentiment post-October 7th, and I agree with you about that, and I condemn it wholeheartedly. But we're also seeing a rise of neo-Nazi attitudes online, and in fact, some of them are
in Ukraine,
truly perpetuated by the owner of X, who has
Elon.
expressed support for AfD in Germany, which I think you will agree with me is effectively a neo-Nazi organization. And when I was walking over here,
so Dan's having PTSD because he saw a swastika out there. But you know who has the swastika? It's this dude right here. It's this band. This guy right here. That is refuse fascism with Trump and Adolf. So is this what he's talking about? In other words, it's not neo-Nazis who are out there. It's not pro-Nazi people. It's people who are demented and think they're living under a Nazi regime. Okay, their mental illness doesn't mean that there are actually Nazis. Like, 4-year-olds think that there's something under their bed. Doesn't make it true. Unless you're in the Biden household, then you don't know. But here is this exchange. You can see they're playing tunes out there. So he's freaked out about his own people, I guess. So they come and they put their signs out, and then Goldman walks by and he's like, wow, this is traumatic. Here, there's like, Trump is anti-American, F-U, Silicon. Okay, lots of F words, these people. And there's an interesting little game I've been playing a bit. It's like, if you see a post from Democrats, this is a fun game you can play. I've been playing this. It doesn't work all the time. It's not as consistent as I'd hope it'd be, but it works a lot. You'll be surprised, more often than you think. When you see a post from a Democrat, it's more than half. It will reference some bodily orifice or bodily function. All right, most of the time. So for example, you could see with those videos, okay, they all started like with the S word, right? Stuff that doesn't, right? But the actual S word, right? It's defecation. They always say it, or they say a-holes, or they, it's something like that. You can see a lot of it, not so much on these signs right now, but on their post, you'll notice it. And the one who talks a lot about it is that sex freak, Mazi Hirono, who is, of course, obsessed with intercourse. But this is what the protests look like. Pretty pathetic, to be honest. I don't know, a couple hundred people there, maybe tops. And the ones that Dan Goldman is ranting about are on his own side. Now, we had a couple geniuses. This is a representative who came out over from someplace, says Trump betrays women for billionaires is one of their signs. And it's interesting. They all have like the same glasses going on. It's like they all kind of like look the same, with the same haircuts kind of thing. You can kind of pair them off a little bit like these two and these two. Anyways, strange stuff. Here is what they said. This is one of the most true things you'll hear from them ever.
Don't care about this country, and that is unacceptable if you claim to be the president of the United States. So we are here. We are not going anywhere. We are going to continue to fight back, and we are going to continue to speak lies to his truth, to his stealing, and to his cheating. Thank you.
Speak those lies. We love it. Great job. Nice clapping, nice haircuts.
We are going to
that was them. That's what's happening out there in the Democratic Party. They're having a tough time, but they're trying to figure it out. And currently, they are just copying and pasting each other at scale. They're like, well, maybe if we just do a lot of it, that'll work. And they just can keep trying. We'll be here making fun of them. So the Republicans were also out. And here is Mike Johnson explaining what's going to be coming up very soon. We're keeping our eye on the president. Right now, we got Vivek is over on with Fox. And let's chip in. Let's see what Vivek is saying.
Sealed the border, rampant downturn in the number of illegal encounters at the southern border, great economy that's heading in the right direction, and those wars are de-escalating and on their way, hopefully, to resolution. So I think Donald Trump has made tremendous progress. He's a human being, not a magician. That means that we were left with the major mess coming out of that last Biden-Harris administration, whatever you want to call it. The reality is that's still going to take a bit of time to dig out of, and I think he should be frank with the American people who are going to be patient with him, who are behind him, who gave him that mandate for sweeping change. And I love that theme centered on the American dream, Jesse, because it's not just about what we're cleaning up or what we're tearing down, but also what fills that void and what takes its place. The idea of economic empowerment and educational empowerment for Americans across the country. I think that's a great way to kick this next chapter off.
All right, so that's Vivek. He's over on Fox. And here was this exchange with Speaker Johnson explaining what's coming down tonight.
This joint address to Congress, Larry, is historic. I mean, normally you would have a State of the Union. The president would come in really on or about the end of the first year of his term. But I invited him this early because there is so much to report. President Trump is having an historic second term, and he's done so much in the less than 45 days that it would take him 3 hours to just go through all of the wins and all the victories and the things that he's achieved so far. So I hope the Democrats don't try to disrupt that, because the American people back home are applauding it, and we are here as well in the House Republican Conference.
All right, we're going to see what the Democrats are doing this morning on the Membo stream. We read through a list of possibilities saying that they were going to dress in certain colors. You can see we're in MAGA red today, baby. We're counter-protesting whatever AOC wears. So they may dress in colors. Somebody else was speculating they might have noisemakers or like a kazoo or something like those, whatever, things. Probably be AOC would like that one. But the point is, they might be protesting or throwing things. Who knows what's going to happen? I doubt that they're going to turn it into that much of a clown show, but who knows? They are the Democrats after all. Meanwhile, Mike Johnson is going to be bringing some folks in to join us tonight. Says, I'm honored to host an incredible group of guests for the joint address to Congress, saying it's an honor to host Olivia Hayes. Olivia's husband was taken too soon, killed by an illegal immigrant in a drunk driving accident. Man, rest in peace. Prayers to Olivia and her family. We've got Noah Aragamani is going to be brought in. She was held by Hamas for 250 days. She's been returned, and she'll be joining tonight. Also, Tom Homan is coming in the house. So Tom's commitment to saving lives at the border means he'll be there. Ben Dell, chairman of the Commonwealth and LNG. So he's a Louisiana guy. Yeah. Trump's restoring America's energy dominance. And Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh. They're going to the State of the Union? Man, that's cool. All right. Daily Wire crews over there. Cool. All right. So they'll be there. And we also saw that there may be some comments today about the tariffs that went into effect. So the president just launched new tariffs against Mexico and Canada and China. And that little dictator Trudeau up there is having a meltdown today. It's been very enjoyable to watch. And we're going to be hurt and all this stuff. And then he's going to announce retaliatory tariffs. And then Trump says, well, we're going to tariff you again. So just whatever you got to do, Justin. We'll see you on the other side. But here is Peter Navarro, an economic advisor to the president, explaining what Trump is doing with all of this.
The economy is in good shape right now because the Trump cavalry is riding to the rescue. We've got a couple of problems. The Biden inflation, which was created by massive overspending and the Federal Reserve accommodating that with easy money. How are we dealing with it? We got a 3D deflationary attack. We got Doge deregulation and drill, baby, drill. And
Let's go.
If we can get oil alone, Bill, back down to $50 a barrel from where it is now, above 70, that will be enough to shave off at least a percentage point from the inflation rate and allow the Federal Reserve to start lowering interest rates, which then lowers mortgage rates and allows this economy to prosper. Things are really good with the Trump economy. Just trust in Trump. He's trying to stop you and your children from being killed by fake fentanyl showing up in your prescription drugs. And that's the battle today we're fighting. And it's not a war. It's simply defending ourselves.
Okay. Yeah, and it's also setting a new baseline, right? So now Trump has 25 points to play with, or whatever the numbers are, 20 points, whatever the numbers are, to play around with Mexico. Look, all right, well, look, it's 25 right now. But if you do this, I'll drop it down to 10. And if you don't continue to do what you promised to do, it's going back up to 25. So we now have some wiggle room to play around with these negotiations with foreign powers. And I think Trump is going to use that to full effect. We're already seeing it happen. Now, there's also questions about Zelensky. Zelensky made a post, and I don't think it's quite an apology. Let's see what you say about it. Did Zelensky apologize? He posted this, saying, I would like to reiterate Ukraine's commitment to peace, telling us none of us wants an endless war. Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Now, as soon as possible would have been last week, but all right. Nobody wants peace more than Ukrainians. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. It's a nice statement from him. Now, we are ready to work fast to end the war. That is in contradiction to the statement we saw yesterday when he said it's not even close to being over. And the first stage could be the release of prisoners and truce in the sky, ban on missiles, long-range drones, bomb on energy and other civilian infrastructure, and a truce in the sea immediately if Russia will do the same. Then we want to move very fast through all next stages and to work with the U.S. to agree to a strong final deal, saying we really do value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. And we remember the moment when things changed, when President Trump provided Ukraine with javelins. We are grateful for this. Our meeting in Washington at the White House on Friday did not go the way it was supposed to be. It is regrettable that it happened this way. It is time to make things right. We would like future cooperation and communication to be constructive. Now, regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it in any time and in any convenient format. We see this agreement as a step forward toward greater security and solid security guarantees, and I truly hope it will work effectively. It's like, all right, man, talk about your backpedal. Now, there was no real apology in there. It is regrettable that it happened. Well, you had a part in that there, dummy. Everything was going fine. You could have sat there for 10 more minutes and all of this could have been done. But it is him, I think, showing his belly a bit, right? My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership. Like, we need the president to get this done. So I think for President Trump's and the administration's perspective, this is what they wanted to hear. They wanted quick peace. They wanted an actual declaration that they want to do this. They acknowledge it's a first stage. They finally got the message that we've been screaming about, that obviously America is going to protect its rare earth mineral mining facilities once they're installed there. And I'm not a fan of this deal, by the way. I would prefer that it did not happen. But it's, I suppose, better than a prospect of World War III. And so if this is the only way to bring this thing to a conclusion, We'll have to let history be the judge. So Zelensky posted that. Now, there was not going to be a deal signed today. Jacqui Heinrich again confirmed that, says there was no signing plan today for the Oval Office address, the Capitol Hill address to Congress. And that is interesting. We'll see if it comes quickly thereafter, because it certainly sounded like Zelensky was pretty much in favor of this. Now, this was the other video that he released, and PBS News said this, right? Ukrainian President Zelensky expressed regret for how his Oval Office meeting went down. He made a statement after the Trump administration paused all military aid that has helped the country survive the invasion, right? So it's like, okay, if you don't want to play, we don't need to play. And that changed pretty damn quickly. Now, yesterday, he was palling around with all the Europeans, trying to rub everyone's nose in it. And he's still doing this, by the way. Zelensky is, a very sneaky person, because if you go to his X account, look what he's doing now, right? Hey, had a great call with Finland. Finland's working with us. Hey, had a great call with UK. He's on the phone. Hey, take an action shot. I'm on the phone. Hey, spoke with this guy, Croatia. They love me too. Hey, blah, 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 right? So like the rest of the world is rallying around us, but we also need the United States. Little bit different attitude than yesterday, when we saw that Zelensky was kind of bragging that he already had funding secured, and until basically June or July, because the Biden administration ransacked our treasury to fund them. So Zelensky, here was a little bit of this video that PBS put together.
In Kyiv tonight, a mea culpa.
We can only regret what happened at the White House instead of our negotiations, but we must find the strength to move forward, to respect one another.
You're buried there, your people are dying.
Since Friday, U.S. officials have been wanting Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to apologize and indicate a willingness to cease fire, which he did for the first time today on X. He wrote the first stages could be the release of prisoners and truce in the sky, a ban on missiles, long-range drones, bombs on energy and other civilian infrastructure, and truce in the sea immediately, if Russia will do the same. Zelensky also pledged to sign an economic deal that would pay half of all revenue from Ukraine's critical minerals, including this titanium mine, to an investment fund jointly owned with the U.S. It would upend decades of U.S. precedent, forcing the invaded, not the invader, to pay up. But it would also mean the U.S. was invested literally in Ukraine's future, as the two presidents celebrated before Friday's meeting blew up.
It's a big commitment from the United States, and we appreciate working with you very much.
Very nice. Yeah, very nice of the president, until Zelensky blew the whole thing off the rails. So looks like that is probably going to happen. Zelensky is saying that they're ready to go. Trump, I think, wants the deal to happen. So it will probably happen. The timing, of course, is yet to be seen. Now, we've got more reaction on this. We've got tariffs. And actually, let's pause for a minute and see where we're at. I think people are heading over to the Capitol. Yeah, here's what Fox has for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great night. You know that President Trump is going to put on a show. Nobody's better at entertaining the American people, and he's going to do it tonight.
Yeah, we see the senators walking in. We got Johnson, we got Scott out of Florida. I mean, a lot of these guys look very similar. The fact that I'm noticing who they are is pretty amazing.
Big DC guy now.
Big DC guy now. I'm pretending at least. So, the tax deal, that looks like it's moving. So a lot of people are saying, Trump, you got to focus on the economy here. The Democrats are saying, what about the prices? We're looking at it.
All right, so they're making their way in. Now, as we're expecting Democrats to protest, we had Karoline Leavitt came out and issued this message. She dismisses concerns of any disruption. She says the Democrats, they can hem and haw, whine and complain, release some more videos together, whatever. No one cares. Here's Karoline.
Americans can expect Donald Trump to say many things that are false, including perhaps Russian information. What we will not hear from Donald Trump, however, is the truth.
We know that he's going to lie, that he's going to be completely divorced from reality in terms of what he describes.
That State of the Union speech is going to be a farce. I think it's going to be a MAGA pep rally.
We can make sure the American people understand that this man is not keeping the promises that have a real impact in their lives.
Okay.
Exactly. We always take our cues from them. Elon Omar, tonight,
President Trump set to address a joint session of Congress.
Where's
and
Karoline?
Democrats are mindset of the
dream. And the renewal of the American dream is underway already. Look at all that President Trump has accomplished in his first month as president. He's going to highlight some of those accomplishments. He's also going to talk about his plans to fix the economic mess that was created and left for him by Joe Biden in his administration. He's going to dive into foreign policy, talk about his intention to end the war in Ukraine, talk about his plan to bring all of the hostages out of Gaza home. And he's also going to make an ask of Congress tonight. We need more border funding to continue with these deportations that have been incredibly successful because of the efforts of this administration, but we need more resources.
separate from the bills that they're working on in the House and Senate?
Look, the president has been engaged in those negotiations, as you know, with both members of the House and also on the Senate side, too. He's expressed his intention is one big, beautiful bill, but he wants to get the deal done. And you will hear him talk about how Border Patrol and DHS need more funding. We need to deport the tens of millions of illegal criminals who the previous administration led into our country. The administration is doing everything they can, and those deportation efforts are underway. But certainly we need more resources, and we need more men and women who want to join this historic effort.
All right. So also you have recruiting up. We get those numbers in December and January. That's got to be encouraging. But tonight at the speech itself, there's going to be some special guests, some of which you can reveal.
Yeah.
Looks like the First Lady will have a big roster, including Stephanie Diller.
Yes.
And that is one of the themes. People, law enforcement whose spouses lost their lives in the line of duty.
Yeah, the First Lady will be in attendance tonight, and the guest list that she put together and President Trump put together is phenomenal. There will be everyday American heroes in attendance. Stephanie Diller, whom you mentioned, who lost her husband in the line of duty at the hands of an illegal immigrant. You have Mark Fogel, who, of course, because of President Trump's Peace Through Strength efforts, returned from Russian captivity. Cory, who lost his life protecting his family in Butler, Pennsylvania. You'll also have an auto worker. You'll have a steel worker, and you will see exceptional Americans with great stories. President Trump will be telling their stories.
Right. I know you mentioned Elon Musk will be there.
Yes.
Staff advisors will be there. The secretaries will be there. You also mentioned there's special guests. Mm-hmm. And you gave me the idea that perhaps you might weaken and tell me who those surprise guests are. Have you decided if you're going to tell me?
I have decided I am not going to tell you. I will let President Trump tell the country later. But there are going to be some very special guests that the president will reveal in his speech. And I also want to mention there will be the mothers of Jocelyn Nungare and Laken Riley, who will be in attendance tonight, who, of course, lost their daughters at the hands of illegal migrant immigrants. And that's what part of the reason President Trump is working so hard on these deportations and why Congress and Democrats need to get on board with this effort, because the vast majority of Americans are supportive of it.
The border's almost virtually shut down. No one expected this type of success, even better than the first time. So now, yesterday, the president announced a pause in Ukraine aid. Could a call from President Zelensky today change that?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's up to President Trump to decide. What I do know is that President Trump wants to make a deal. And unfortunately, it has appeared thus far that President Zelensky is unwilling to talk about a real peace agreement. And in order to negotiate peace, you've got to bring both sides to the table. And in any good deal in business, in politics, usually both sides leave a little bit unhappy. And I think President Zelensky, unfortunately, is failing to realize that at this moment in time. But look, the president is a deal maker, and that's what he wants to do. He wants this war to end. He wants to stop the killing. He wants to see a ceasefire. And he had an economic agreement on the table, on a silver platter for President Zelensky to sign at the White House last Friday, which wouldn't have just been an economic agreement. It would have been a lifeline for President Zelensky and his country. If you have, American companies and American miners exploring for those rare earth minerals in Ukraine, that serves as an incredible deterrent to Putin and to Russia. And unfortunately, that deal wasn't signed because President Zelensky did not come into the Oval Office with the right mindset.
But he has said he would sign it now.
Well, we'll have to see.
Okay. Karoline, I don't know when you rest, because I saw you last night and then I'm watching you today, but you look wide awake and you're ready to go. Are you liking the job?
I love the job, and I'm looking forward to the speech tonight. Everybody should tune in. It will be must-see
How long
TV.
will it be?
About an hour, but who knows? It could always go a little bit longer. We have great guests with great stories to tell.
Does the president worried about disruptions?
No, I don't think we're worried about that. I think, frankly, the Democrats should think about if they should stand up and applause for some of the things President Trump will be talking about.
That would be
He's bringing
nice.
common sense back to this country. Look at Democrats yesterday. 45 Senate Dems voted against keeping men out of women's sports. How can you be against that when 80% of the country is for it? So
it is crazy for them to reject with the House.
you'll
passed.
hear a lot of common sense tonight.
Caroline, thanks so much. Every time you speak, I hear common sense, and you seem to.
Amazing. And she's doing a great job. So Karoline Leavitt is out there. Now, J.D. Vance has made his way into the building. So there is Mike Johnson and J.D. Vance up. Mike Johnson just dropped the mic. He just dropped the mic. He's like, oh, crap. Is this thing on? He's like, I'm talking so much garbage right now. All right, move that mic down. So here, let's listen in. Let's see what Fox has for us. There's Elon. We got the 4x4 going.
Office meeting and the Munich speech there with Johnson, who was able to get that MAGA bill across the finish line.
At least so
There's
far,
Tom Homan.
right? That was a big step one and a victory lap last week. Speaking of victory laps for Speaker Johnson, and what a change of scenery from the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi images of some of those states of the union. And then it's going to be Trump, Vance, Johnson. Whole new cast of characters and a very, very new direction for the country.
All right, so we're going to have Johnson gavel this in, and then you're going to have the Joint Chiefs of Staff come in. We may even see some of the justices in robes follow that. There's Nancy Mace with Senator Ted Cruz. I'm sure they're just talking about football and, you know, what they did on Saturday night.
Yeah, Nancy
There's
Mace
Ben
has some
Shapiro,
interesting stuff going on right
looks
now.
like a special guest of
Hey, there's Ben
Speaker
Shapiro.
Johnson, I believe. These guests
There's
that the
Matt
president,
Walsh.
Aaron, is bringing in, what kind of story do you expect him to tell with some of these people?
Well, we know that President Trump hates the mainstream fake news media, and
That's
some
true.
of these journalists who have stood up for him time and time again are the new era. We're ushering in a new time in America where people who are sort of street journalists that have done blogs, done podcasts, are in the building tonight, and I think that speaks volume. Donald Trump is the president of the people. He's a populist, and people like Ben Shapiro and Matt
Newt
Walsh,
Gingrich,
they've
we
had
see
great
down
movies.
there.
They started with the Daily Wire. They are really out there
With
in this
his
sort of
wife.
new generation, new era of journalism.
I also saw Riley Gaines, I think, sitting with them.
Yep, saw Riley.
I would not be surprised to see the president lean into the protecting women's sports issue, because Senate Democrats just last night voted unanimously against a bill to protect women's sports, and that
There's
is an
Nancy.
80-20 issue in the other direction for them.
So you see Nancy there. Looks like she has a Ukraine flag wearing pink. She's
look
not
at
going
that
to rip
tie.
anything up tonight. Will she applaud when the president talks about
Ukraine-colored
getting
tie.
men out
Oh,
of
gosh.
women's locker rooms?
No.
She won't.
No.
And what
Look,
does that
right
tell
there.
the audience, that you're going to
Top
have a
right.
woman that powerful not stand with women?
There was an analysis done on another network by some polling gurus. They said that the executive order on that issue that Trump signed a few weeks ago may have been the single most popular thing he has ever done in terms of public opinion. And the Democrats seem to be lining up lock, stock, and barrel on the other side of it, which is certainly a choice.
That's one of those things that you can see as a viewer, Aaron. If you're going to have the president talking about, let's just say, banning paper straws or getting boys out of girls' sports or closing the border, these are common sense, popular ideas. If the Democrats don't show a little gumption, stand up, maybe just a golf clap. How about a golf clap, Aaron?
I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to be defiant, like an insolent toddler. I think we might see some of the Nancy clapping, right, in some sort of outburst, because they're having a very hard time sort of coming to Jesus about what has happened. You
They're
know,
trying to find
this
who
is a
they are.
mandate
Yeah.
in Washington and beyond. House, Senate, popular vote, White House. It should really be sending the Democrats time for a moment of contrition, yet they're not doing that. And I think tonight that's why Donald Trump should say, we are back and better than ever. I got all of my cabinet secretaries through. It is completely stacked. We've got Pete Hegseth, Pam Bondi, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard. We're really winning on every front in Washington, and it's about time.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Aaron. Guy Benson, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Let's go to senior national correspondent Aisha Hasni. Aisha, what do we have cooking down there?
There's Jasmine Crockett on CNN.
Hey, Jesse,
There's Elon.
it's a pretty cool scene here. I wish you could be here. We just saw a bunch of senators go in, of course, led by Vice President J.D. Vance. I believe that we're just now waiting for the Supreme Court justices to walk through Stat Hall here on their way into the chamber. So we're waiting for them. And then this is really going to get going here because the president, I believe, is now here at the Capitol. And as we watch these people walk in, really all eyes tonight are going to be on the Democrats and what they're going to be up to during the speech. Of course, in years past, Jesse, you'll remember we've seen, then Speaker Nancy Pelosi tear up President Trump's speech right behind him. We've seen plenty of Democrats boo him in the middle of his speech. So we're waiting to see what they do. We have heard a number of plans and things that they've talked about. Some of them might be wearing the Ukrainian colors, the Ukrainian flag, might be waving that because they want to show their support for Ukraine and aid for Ukraine. We've also heard people that might walk out right in the middle of this speech, and people who might say something, might shout something if they feel like, the president has said something that they have an emotional reaction to. A lot of different people are also going to boycott this. Like AOC has said that she's not going to be here in the room. She's going to be live tweeting about this instead. So we're waiting to see how they respond and react. And something that they've already done earlier, I know you've seen as well, and some of our viewers might have too, are these videos they put out on social media about 20 different Senate Democrats got together and basically read the same script, used some expletives, and trashed the president's campaign promises ahead of tonight's speech. So that is what we're looking to see how disruptive the left is going to be, or if they're going to be strategic about this, because look, this is the president who won this election fair and square by a large majority of Americans. And so would it serve them to actually be disruptful? I'm not sure that their leadership would agree with that. Jesse?
All right, Aisha, thanks. I'm just so excited to see what props they have in store. It's like Carrot Top. I don't know what to expect. I'm on the edge of my seat. Let's go to outnumbered co-host and former White House press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany.
Hey, what's up, Kayleigh?
I heard you got a sneak peek at some of the excerpts.
Yeah, I was just taking a look at them, and Jesse, this is not going to disappoint. I am incredibly impressed with what I had seen. I was a little nervous because Stephen Miller has a new role, and he's the best speechwriter I think we've seen in this country in quite some time. But these are incredible, what you're about to hear. And particularly, my concern today was I really hope he hits the economy. As some have said, the media focuses on DOGE, the media focuses on Ukraine. That's all great and well and good. But this president can own the economy. This president has seen a 10-point swing in the direction the economy is going. This president has seen the best numbers on the economy since before Joe Biden, a.k.a. when Trump was president. And I think he's going to give the American people a history lesson. We had the worst inflation in the last half century under President Joe Biden. He's working to flip that, and he's going to get into those remarks and tease the golden age of America. These are uplifting. They're not caustic. They're not
Johnson's
fighting words
gaveling
from what
in.
I've seen, as we see Mike Johnson gaveling in. This is a president that's ready to tout his more than 400 executive actions.
All right, and there's Speaker House Johnson right now gaveling us in. I believe we're going to have some of the Joint Chiefs come in. Let's listen.
Minnesota, Mr. Emmer. The gentlewoman from Michigan, Mrs.
We're going full screen.
Tree flight.
What the heck?
If you're looking for the one.
All right, sorry about that. Okay, we're switching feeds over here. Let's go over to C-SPAN. Here we are.
The gentleman from Minnesota, Mr. Emmer. The gentlewoman from Michigan, Mrs. McClain. The gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Hudson. The gentleman from Pennsylvania, Mr. Reschenthaler. The gentleman from Utah, Mr. Moore. The gentlewoman from Indiana, Mrs. Houchin. The gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Hearn. The gentleman from New York, Mr. Jeffries. The gentlewoman from Massachusetts, Ms. Clark. The gentleman from California, Mr. Aguilar. The gentleman from California, Mr. Liu. The gentleman from Colorado, Mr. Neguse. The gentlewoman from Washington, Ms. Delbene. The gentlewoman from Michigan, Mrs. Dingell.
The President of the Senate, at the direction of that body, appoints the following senators as members of the committee on the part of the Senate to escort the President of the United States into the House chamber. The Senator from South Dakota, Mr. Thune. The Senator from Wyoming, Mr. Barrasso. The Senator from Arkansas, Mr. Cotton. The Senator from Oklahoma, Mr. Lankford. The Senator from West Virginia, Mrs. Capito. The Senator from South Carolina, Mr. Scott. The Senator from New York, Mr. Schumer. The Senator from Illinois, Mr. Durbin. The Senator from Minnesota, Ms. Klobuchar. The Senator from New Jersey, Mr. Booker. The Senator from Wisconsin, Ms. Baldwin.
The members of the escort committee will exit the chamber through the lobby doors.
And we're going to keep close eyes on SCOTUS today, right? Because SCOTUS has been the subject in prior addresses of some scorn and ridicule. We remember Obama went after the Supreme Court a couple times directly to their face. And of course, Trump has a friendly Supreme Court, mostly Republican, with some squishy conservatives so-called on there, and John Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett. But the courts right now are a big problem in Trump's agenda. So we'll see if he addresses that at all. I doubt it, but it would be nice. I don't think it would be appropriate for him to address it, but we want to see some.
Speaker, the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps.
Okay, I didn't know if we needed to all rise there or not. I didn't know. All right, well, we will just all rise. All right. We'll definitely rise when the president comes in, but that was nice to honor our diplomats, too. Okay. So, all right, good. So I didn't see much from SCOTUS today. No, we're waiting for SCOTUS to give us some activity.
Jonathan Jackson. There. Penguin doesn't go. Penguin doesn't. Did he dress us up okay? My wife loves this gray suit. I hate it. I don't wear it. She'll see me on TV. I'm a blazer, man.
And we're about 5-10 minutes away from the president entering the chamber and beginning his speech. Jasmine Wright, Jason Dick, we've been watching this.
All right, so we did
chatting amongst ourselves.
We did see President Trump and Melania make their way over. I think I pulled that clip up. What did I do with that one? I don't know what I did with it. Anyways, so they made their way over. I found a good clip over from some location, but let's go back to the cables and let's see what they've got for us. This is now more. Looks like somebody else just got announced.
For continuity of government, all the people in the line of succession are in that chamber. Now you're seeing some of the other dignitaries coming in. These are the diplomatic corps,
members of the Supreme
and the members of the Supreme Court behind them.
Nice.
Joining us with a preview tonight, Harold Ford Jr., Dana Perino, and Britt Hume. Britt, we've been through a lot of these, and what's your thoughts on this one?
All right, so let's go back to the judges over here. We've got them coming in. John Roberts up front. We have, let's get some audio on this. There's Kagan. There's Kavanaugh. Amy Coney Barrett coming in. We've got, I don't know who that is. That wasn't Alito, was it? So we didn't have Sotomayor. I didn't see Sotomayor. I didn't see Thomas. I don't think Thomas comes to these. I think that was old Judge. I don't think Clarence comes to these.
Jason Dick, we were just watching the Supreme Court come in. We saw Justice Roberts, Kavanaugh, Barrett, Kagan, and we did not see
Alito,
Justices Brown, Jackson, Sotomayor, Alito, Gorsuch.
No, we didn't. Yeah, where was Gorsuch?
We did see Anthony Kennedy, too.
Retired Justice
that was Kennedy.
Kennedy.
Yeah, okay, that was Kennedy. I couldn't remember his name. He's retired
Four
though.
out of the 9 or...
So, I mean, Justice Alito has been skipping this for quite a few years after, like sort of some of
after Obama was a jerk.
And kind of mouthings kind of caught the cameras during one of Barack Obama's addresses.
Yeah, because Obama was a jerk.
Thomas has also skipped quite a few lately. And, it's not surprising to me because I do think that some people are feeling like that they don't have to be there. They've done this before. A lot of them have done this before, even for people who have.
It would be nice if they were there, though.
New.
But not necessarily, you don't see
kind
this
of
necessarily as a protest by two of the Democratic appointed justices, Brown, Jackson, and Sotomayor.
It could.
And you can see
could,
Justice Roberts and Kagan.
Yeah, I mean, the Supreme Court is a very tight group. They're very close. They spend a lot of time around one another. Whether or not it's a protest or whether it's just, I think I want to just, catch up on Black Doves on Netflix. It might be that too.
Yeah, or I wonder if it's like an even Steven thing, right? So if Sotomayor is like, I'm not going, then one Republican's like, well, I'm not going. So Gorsuch then bails. Same thing with Clarence Thomas and Amy Ketanji Brown Jackson. Right? So they didn't show up. So it's like 2 Republicans don't show up, 2 Democrats don't show up. So it's kind of this, balanced approach kind of thing. All right, so let's go back to the cable, see what they've got.
Will be in black this evening.
So let's take a moment, listen to the action down on the House floor. We're going to pause for the top of the hour. Again, President Trump just moments away. Our special coverage of tonight's joint address to Congress continues.
Was just going through our numbers on that. 45% of Americans say that it's going in the wrong direction. 39% say the right direction. But that's not what we're going to hear from the president.
No, he's claiming that for the...
Of course, so CNN doing some poll pre-buttal stuff. We've also got, hey, Bret Baier's back over on Fox with Martha. They're awaiting the speech. We've got the usual suspects down on MSNBC. Even the BBC's covering that. You can see that over there. So just minutes away from the president coming out. Let's check in.
Highlight his accomplishments to those lawmakers and obviously to you, the American people. Let's bring in senior White House correspondent Peter Doocy. He joins us live
from the
North Lawn. Good evening, Peter.
Good evening, Brett and Martha. And we have just received our first excerpts of the president's address tonight. If he sticks to the script, he is expected to say, Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control, and we are working hard to get it back down. He will say, later this week, I will take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA. And he will say, whatever they tariff us, we tariff them. And we can also confirm the viral tweet that was going around that the comms team here at the White House has been getting ready for tonight with a call back to the campaign trail and their boss's trip to a drive-thru with McDonald's.
Whoa! Yummy.
So we're getting ready for the president to walk in. At that point, you'll hear from the sergeant at arms who will announce the president. You see members assembled here as they wait. Vice President J.D. Vance, it's his first time up there on the podium. Mike Johnson as well.
Look at those Ukraine
was there
scarves.
last year for President Biden's speech. So everyone is assembled. It's a joint speech to Congress rather than a State of the Union because it's so early in the term. But as we've been saying, President Trump feels, and rightfully so, that he has quite a few things to list when he gets up there in a few minutes.
This is only the second president to do a second joint address, the other one being Grover Cleveland. As you see Nancy Pelosi.
That's a fun fact.
House Speaker Emeritus, they call her, sitting next to Steny Hoyer there, wearing the pink, and they are unified in their pink outfits tonight. We don't know what's going to happen with Democrats, as Harold mentioned earlier. Let's bring in our panel. Fox News chief political analyst Britt Hume. Dana Perino is co-anchor of America's Newsroom, co-host of The Five. Harold Ford Jr., former Tennessee congressman and co-host of The Five. We have a lot of those. And Larry Kudlow of Fox Business. Larry, let me start with you. Obviously heading into this speech, tariffs is the big talk of today and what it means for the U.S. economy. We assume as we're waiting for the First Lady to walk in, as she does right now, Melania Trump.
Melania!
What do you think
in the House? Let's go to the big screen so we can see Melania.
Yes, 80%, haven't we?
Oh, I think more than that.
And Melania Trump, who was on
C-SPAN.
Capitol Hill yesterday as well. Was that a surprise to you down at the White House that she came down? Here comes Mrs. Trump. She's sitting with her guests. Greta gave us her guests earlier. They include some revenge porn victims, the Comparatory family that was, the father was killed in Butler, Pennsylvania. So she's sitting with her guests there.
Lincoln Riley family is there.
That's right. That's right.
To answer your question, I wasn't surprised to see her. I mean, I think those were her first public remarks since Donald Trump took office. There were some questions about how much she would be in Washington, how frequently she'd be around. But I think that there's a real shift in energy, not just from the president, but also from her office, trying to do things much differently this time around.
Mr. Speaker, the president's cabinet.
In many cases, and have gotten right down to work eliminating DEI programs and being, also the subject of some pushback in many ways. There's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. entering the chamber right now, HHS, dealing with the measles outbreak.
Dana, a lot of State of the Union addresses, and we keep on saying this is a joint address, but essentially takes the form of a State of the Union address. They're mostly like laundry lists or shopping lists that a president wants from Congress. We're told that this process was a little upended this time, and that each one of these cabinet secretaries smoothed out, was a little bit quicker as far as getting this speech together. You've been through this
watermelon
process.
head.
Well, every cabinet secretary will definitely want something in the speech, because then they can go out and market it and sell it. Now, this is a huge audience for the president tonight. One of the things that might be a little different from day to day is that it's not just political junkies or supporters or opponents, right? This is a big, broad audience. But he also is going to talk to Congress, and I think it's very important that he be clear in what he wants the Congress to do in order to carry out his agenda, do what Larry just said in terms of the economy. And also, I'm very curious, two things. One, that all of these Democratic women decided to wear pink tonight after last night they decided to vote en masse against protecting girls' sports. That is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
The other thing is, it's like the president is going to be able to announce that actually the border is now secure. It only took 44 days. Are the Democrats going to applaud for that?
Yeah, we see Kristi Noem walking in. Spoke with Tom Homan earlier today. Obviously, the president will tout, herald the success that he's had at the border. The numbers are extraordinary. It's down 98% from where it was under President Biden. It was such a glaringly obvious issue during the election, and Democrats pretty much dug in.
It was an issue the president won on and continues to win on. It'll be interesting to hear how the president talks about the different budget blueprints from the House and the Senate. But I do think Larry touches on something that the president, I hope, focuses on in his speech for his sake. You've got to figure out how you grow this economy for everyone. The stock market's taken a little bit of a hit the last 2 days, but that's the richest of the country that really looks to that. How you deal with prices for everyday people, how you ensure that their taxes are cut for everyday people. I'm going to be curious to hear how the president talks about that tonight and how he tries to reconcile or talks about how Congress should reconcile whatever differences they may have, that being Republicans in the House and the Senate, to advance some of these ideas and proposals.
I wonder out loud how much DOGE budget cutting will be in this speech, because actually it's polling very well. It's very popular. And it goes to Harold's point. It cuts back on inflation. It cuts back on the cost of living. Look, I think this is going to be a real top-down. It's not like cabinet secretaries making requests. I think this is going to be top-down, Trumpian, his closest advice. Here's my agenda. Here's my vision.
Britt Hume, the Democratic response tonight after this speech
by CIA
will be from first-term Michigan Senator Elissa Slotkin.
CIA.
That's usually a very unenviable position because you were just coming after the president in this massive chamber. But I expect the economy is going to drive her speech later on.
Well, that seems to be the issue that the Democrats think they may have an opening on. I think it's a little early in the administration for people to start to turn against the president on the economy, although obviously the continuation of inflation is something they have to worry about, especially with tariffs in place, which have the effect of driving up prices normally. So there's some concerns there. I suspect she will point to that. As you point out, Brett, it's a very unenviable job. Very few people have ever done it and had any impact with it. It's usually people turn the television off after the president's speech is over.
Too.
They may listen to a little analysis, and that's about it. So I think it's a tough job for her. I don't envy her the task, but I expect she will focus on prices, the price of eggs in particular.
If you remember the response, it's usually for the wrong reason. So we'll see what comes of that tonight. As we're waiting for the Sergeant of Arms to bring in the president, the cabinet is still making their way down there. Tulsi Gabbard, the new director of national intelligence, Kelly Loeffler, the small business administrator, and they're just chatting in the chamber there on their way down. They're running a little behind.
There's Linda McMahon, the Department of Education secretary. It has been, and I think Majority Leader Thune, who we saw earlier today, it takes some of the credit here for getting these cabinet members through in such a timely manner. When President Trump chose these people, there was all this backlash and these people will never get confirmed, but this is a president who won all of the swing states and won the popular vote, and it's really unprecedented to imagine that he wouldn't get the cabinet that he wanted. And this is a night for them to assemble as a group as well as they listen to what the president has laid out for them. Dana, as we wait for this, we expect any moment the president's going to walk in. But a quick thought on this issue of tariffs, which we brought up before, because this is a rocky issue for him to grapple with.
I've maintained that I think that the sequencing was off. I feel that I know that President Trump has talked about tariffs a lot, but mainly when he talked to a broad audience like this and during the campaign, it was about high prices, inflation, and the economy and jobs, the border, and crime. Tariffs are something that are going to be complex to explain to people. And so I think what could have happened is why not wait until a speech like tonight to explain, dear American people, this is what I want to do and this is why. And it might be rocky for a while, but hang with me, be patient. Follow me. I want to persuade you to go with me all the way to this end point that I see. Instead, to me, it feels slightly chaotic. Maybe that's by design.
Okay, real quick, here's what Jasmine Crockett is posting out there today, just as we await the president. Here is a little bit of Jasmine. She made her own video. This is what happens when you don't copy and paste. This is Jasmine.
Out of our market. So you can expect to hear some tough talk from the president
I don't even know what's going on here.
That is ahead of the market's close.
That was Jasmine Crockett. All right, so that's what she's up to right now. We don't even need to listen to it. Well, the State of the Disunion will begin shortly. I'm going to be in attendance. That's Jasmine Crockett. All right, there you go.
I would have said, get your tax cuts done first, and then go for the tariffs. All right? The tax cuts really give people some monetary torque. As I say, it fattens middle-class wallets. There will be some belt tightening on the tariffs. I don't think it's going to be that bad, and it needs to be explained.
Jasmine Crockett-Fuller.
In the first term, the tax cuts came first, and then the tariffs came. And I wish that the sequence the same this time around.
He will say, we have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we're just getting started. We forget that some of this speech, maybe a significant part, Harold, is going to be about foreign policy. In the wake of what just happened in the Oval Office with President Zelensky, over the weekend he was in Europe. He made a post today that suggested Zelensky is ready to go forward. And we may hear that President Trump is getting to that point, too, tonight on a Ukraine minerals deal that takes you to the next step in negotiations.
He promised a stronger economy, promised no taxes on tips and ending wars. People want to hear, I think, all of that. We were all alarmed last week. You had a great week last week, Brett, as you interviewed those three leaders. To see that meeting end like it did had to be disheartening for the president, both presidents. So if he talks about that tonight with some progress, and he can talk about a mineral deal being closer, I think it'd be good for him. It'd be good for our security guarantee, that the architecture we built in Europe.
All right.
And for Ukraine.
So we hear the gavel from Speaker Johnson, and we are ready for the Sergeant at Arms, William McFarland, to announce the president.
There it was. All rise. Welcome, Mr. President. reception, man. Some grooves back there. You hear that one gal? I love it. Listen, that's roaring, man. That's roaring.
President making his way down the center aisle, and you see him shaking the hands of the Chief Justice, John Roberts. A significant moment there as he passes by Brett Kavanaugh and the other, Elena Kagan and the other members of the Supreme Court. Britt, you know, going down that aisle, we remember all of the people who used to pack into that aisle, including the late Sheila Jackson Lee from Texas. There are some people that just, this is their moment to shake the hand of the president, either party.
Yeah, and it doesn't really seem to matter too much how they feel at any other time about the president. There's always a certain number of members of the Congress who are selfie seekers, and they will crowd the edge of that aisle so that they can get themselves a picture with the president or shake his hand or be acknowledged by him. He is, after all, the largest figure at any given moment in our government, and at this point, I think in this particular case tonight, it's the largest figure in modern American political history, certainly at this moment.
He's shaking hands of some of the generals in the front row here. And just to keep in mind with the Supreme Court justices, he's got a couple of big cases before them right now about whether or not he can freeze foreign aid or fire executive branch officials.
Come on, Amy.
He will be dealing with the Supreme Court quite a bit in the coming weeks and months. Spend some time with them as he makes his way up to the podium.
And he is nominating a new chairman of the Joint Chiefs, which is quite something as well as he shakes those hands. And now as he gets ready to give the speech, shaking the hands of the Vice President and the Speaker. Let's listen in to the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, his first joint address in this term, his second overall, and his fifth as President of the United States.
Let's go, Mr. President. Yeah, baby. It's jamming in there, man. Again, it's jamming. Yeah! Love it. Let's go.
Thank you.
Jamming, baby, jamming.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Thank you very much. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, the First Lady of the United States.
We love you, Melania. Yeah. All rise. We love our First Lady.
Members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back.
Yeah, baby! You better believe it. Let's go. All right. We're back, baby. Thank you, Mr. President. Heck yeah, baby.
6 weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started.
That's right. It's been like 5 weeks. Just warming up. Elon in the house.
I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before. The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it.
Good.
The presidential election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes.
Look at the signs they got, right? See those little signs they have? They came prepared.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
Hey! Stop insurrecting the address. Not in our house.
And won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525.
Get out of here!
A map that reads almost completely red for Republican.
Show some respect.
Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever.
I heard a little gavel from Mike Johnson. Those Democrats are acting like little spoiled brats. They better watch it.
Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning.
Get out! Throw them out.
Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session.
Better watch it, punks. Mike Johnson isn't playing around. Try it again. Do it!
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order
Get him out of here!
Remove this
Get
gentleman
out!
from the chamber.
Afuera! Bye. Get him out! Three warnings. Very disrespectful. The Democratic Party.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House. Mr. President, you continue.
Thank you. Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record, to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it.
Thank you, Mr. President. We appreciate it.
In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency,
It's true. Thank you, Trump.
is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many. And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done.
Yes.
As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever. They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that?
Democrats.
This is my 5th such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way. So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
Yes, yes, Mr. President, let's do it. Okay, so that was Congressman Al Green, who got booted out. He's from Houston, Texas.
Every day my administration is fighting to deliver the change America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid.
Yeah, Supreme Court, you could help with that. Hello, John Roberts, hello.
I terminated the ridiculous Green New Scam. I withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization. And I also withdrew from the anti-American UN Human Rights Council. We ended all of Biden's environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction.
Hey, there's Dick and Chuck right there.
To unshackle our economy, I have directed that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations must be eliminated, just like I did in my very successful first day. And in that first term, we set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job.
Marjorie in the MAGA hat.
And we've ended weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out?
Not well.
Not too good.
Not for them.
Not too good.
Worked out well for us. Dorks.
And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America.
Yes! Thank you, Mr. President. Could have been a very different timeline we were on.
And 2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America.
That's spectacular.
I renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America.
Because we hug it. It's our water. From Texas to Florida, we give it a big hug.
And likewise, I renamed, for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again.
It's a nice mountain. Should have a nice name.
Beautiful Alaska.
Yeah. Take that, Lisa Murkowski.
We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military. And our country will be woke no longer.
Thank you, Mr. President.
We believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very
Makes sense. Competence is a pretty good idea.
You should be hired based on merit. And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Pretty obvious.
I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports.
Democrats love that. They voted to keep that going. 45 Democrats voted they love your daughter being dunked on.
Years ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
Shout out to Peyton, yeah. Democrats want more of that. They're okay with giant dude just spiking the ball right into her face.
And if you really want to see numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman.
Close call, yeah.
For a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours.
Wow.
It's demeaning for women.
It is.
And it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer.
These bros like bench pressing like 300 pounds. In women's bench presses. Not good. Thank you, Mr. President.
What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world. Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. Never. Never going to let that happen.
No, we're not.
Among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare.
Democrats.
Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it.
He's looking right
at it. We
him.
suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again.
Save Medicaid, protect veterans, false. Musk steals. Genius. Great job,
Joe Biden
Democrats.
especially let the price of eggs get out of control. The egg price is out of control. And we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration. Do a good job. A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now. And frankly, we have never seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency. As you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far.
Let's get it.
And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it.
Yeah,
it's
baby.
called Drill, Baby, Drill.
Yeah, let's get that oil, baby.
My administration is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA.
Nice. Yeah, don't we have them? Do we really need Ukraine's? We got Alaska, we got the Yellowstone. Like, is there not something down in there?
To further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but we'll be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars.
Good.
And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency.
Yeah, Doge!
Perhaps you've heard of it.
What's up, Elon? Doge in the house.
Which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight.
What's up, Elon? Thank you for doing what needs to be done. We appreciate you, Elon. History will vindicate him way more than... Hey, get off your phone, Elizabeth. Way more than he's even getting credit for now, I think.
Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this.
No.
He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe.
Yeah.
They just don't want to admit that.
They can't admit it.
Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified.
Drop it.
$22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens.
Yeah.
$45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is.
Fat, chubby. They're chubby migrants.
$8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender.
What?
This is real.
I know. You know.
$32 million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique. $20 million for the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams.
Yeah, Georgia.
Have you ever heard of her?
Thought about that. Thought that was where that was going.
A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia, $14 million for social cohesion in Mali, $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City.
A lot.
He's a real estate developer. He's done very well. $250,000 to increase vegan local climate action innovation in Zambia. $42 million for social and behavior change in Uganda. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. We know what we're doing.
Not about trans
use it
stuff,
ourselves.
Got to educate them.
And $101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education. The most ever paid, nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration, all of these scams, and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad.
They are bad.
Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
Thank you for doing it. Thank you, Elon. Thank you, Doge. I'm glad that he ran through that list because it is a powerful list. And Americans hear that and they go, what?
And we've taken back the money and reduced our debt to fight inflation and other things. Taking back a lot of that money. We got it just in time. This is just the beginning. The Government Accountability Office, a federal government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation, and we are working very hard to stop it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old. It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly. 3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129. 3.9 million people from ages 130 to 139. 3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149. And money is being paid to many of them. And we're searching right now. In fact, Pam, good luck. Good luck. You're going to find it. But a lot of money is paid out to people because it just keeps getting paid, and nobody does. And it really hurts Social Security and hurts our country. 1.3 million people from ages 150 to 159, and over 130,000 people, according to the Social Security databases, are age over 160 years old.
They're
we have a
murmuring over
healthier
there.
country than I thought, Bobby.
What's up, RFK Jr. in the house? A lot of really old people in this country.
To finish, 1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229.
Amazing.
One person between the age of 240 and 249. And one person is listed at 360 years of age.
I love it. This line.
More than 100 years. More than 100 years older than our country.
Yeah! It's a great line.
But we're going to find out where that money's going. And it's not going to be pretty. By slashing all of the fraud, waste, and theft we can find, we will defeat inflation, bring down mortgage rates, lower car payments, and grocery prices, protect our seniors, and put more money in the pockets of American families.
Thank you, Mr. President.
And today, interest rates took a beautiful drop, big, beautiful drop. It's about time. And in the near future, I want to do what has not been done in 24 years, balance the federal budget.
Let's do it. Yeah, Howard. Yeah. Even Melania's down for that. Heck yeah.
With that goal in mind, we have developed in great detail what we are calling the Gold Card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated. And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country. We will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money. Americans have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. For nearly 100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed our freedoms, ballooned our deficits, and held back America's potential in every possible way. The nation founded by pioneers and risk-takers now drowns under millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days to get instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again.
No more bureaucratic control of the country. The people control the country, not the unelected bureaucrats who've been there for 20 years as civil servants.
And any federal bureaucrat who resists this change will be removed from office immediately.
Bye.
Because we are draining the swamp. It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over.
Bye. It's over.
And the next phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history is for this Congress to pass tax cuts for everybody. They're in there. They're waiting for you to vote. And I'm sure that the people on my right, I don't mean the Republican right, but my right here, I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling you that.
Yes!
But I know this group is going to be voting for the tax.
Democrats love taxes and men and women's sports. That's their party.
Thank you. It's a very, very big part of our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors.
Wow, yeah. Because they're already taxed enough. We're all taxed enough. Seniors getting taxed on their income that they've already been taxed on. Oh, she brought a whiteboard,
and
Rashida?
I also want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America.
Oh! Interesting idea, Mr. President.
And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made. Never seen. That's a combination of the election win and tariffs. It's a beautiful word, isn't it? That, along with our other policies, will allow our auto industry to absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the majors today, all three, the top people, and they're so excited. In fact, already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world. And this has taken place since our great victory on November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country. In addition, as part of our tax cuts, we want to cut taxes on domestic production and all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy in the history of our country. First term. We had a great first term.
Things were rocking and rolling back then. Then they dropped COVID on us.
If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair. India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%.
Wow.
China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher. And we give so much help militarily and in so many other ways to South Korea. But that's what happens. This is happening by friend and foe. This system is not fair to the United States and never was. And so on April 2nd, I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to be accused of April Fool's Day. That's not, just one day cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal,
it's
back
fair.
and forth.
That's
Whatever
fair.
they tax us,
no one's above the tariff,
we will
okay?
tax them.
No one's above the tariff. Just drop your tariffs.
If they do non-monetary tariffs to keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's a lot of that, too. Yeah. They don't even allow us in their market. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars and create jobs like we have never seen before. I did it with China and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We have been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer. Much has been said over the last 3 months about Mexico and Canada. But we have very large deficits with both of them, but even more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They are, in effect, receiving subsidies of hundreds of billions of dollars. We pay subsidies to Canada and to Mexico of hundreds of billions of dollars, and the United States will not be doing that any longer. We're not going to do it any longer.
Not going to happen.
Thanks to our America First policies we're putting into place, we have had $1.7 trillion of new investment in America in just the past few weeks. The combination of the election and our economic policies that people of SoftBank, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment. OpenAI and Oracle, Larry Ellison, announced $500 billion investment, which they wouldn't have done if Kamala had won. Apple announced $500 billion investment. Tim Cook called me. He said, I cannot spend it fast enough. It's going to be much higher than that, I believe. They'll be building their plants here instead of in China. And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most powerful in the world, has a tremendous amount, 97% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA.
Heck yeah. Shout out to Taiwan Semi. They're also building in Arizona right now. Huge plant, multiple phases. Not far from you. It's looking awesome. It's going to be good for the country.
And we're not giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing. We give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming.
Easy.
We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people, and they will come because they won't have to pay tariffs if they build in America. So it's very amazing. You should get rid of the CHIP Act, and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt or any other reason you want to.
All right. Let's claw that money back, baby. Johnson kind of reluctant
A new
on that
trade
one.
policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer.
So do we. You got to
We'll
eat,
now
baby.
be selling into our home market, the USA, because nobody is going to be able to compete with you. Because there's goods that come in from other countries and companies. They're really in a bad position in so many different ways. They're uninspected. They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in, and they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America, and our farmers, starting on April 2nd, it may be a little bit of an adjustment period. We had that before when I made the deal with China, $50 billion of purchases, and I said, just bear with me, and they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again, and this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases, and we were doing great, but Biden did not enforce it, and it hurt our farmers. But our farmers are going to have a field day right now. So to our farmers, have a lot of fun. I love you too. I love you too.
We love our farmers. We want good, healthy food made in America to feed Americans.
And I have also imposed a 25% tariff on foreign aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel because if we don't have, as an example, steel and lots of other things, we don't have a military and frankly we just won't have a country very long. Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic person from Decatur, Alabama, Jeff Denard.
What's up, Jeff?
Has been working at the same steel plant for 27 years in a job that has allowed him to serve as the captain of his local volunteer fire department, raise 7 children with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and over the years provide a loving home for more than 40 foster children. So great, Jeff.
Wow. What a family.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Stories like Jeff's remind us that tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh. And look where Biden took us. Very low, the lowest we've ever been.
Terrible.
Jeff, I want to thank you very much. And I also want to recognize another person who has devoted herself to foster care community. She works so hard on it. A very loving person, our magnificent First Lady of the United States.
We love you, Melania. So smiley and beautiful and regal in the crowd. Contrast that to the faces of the Democrats, who look like they're going through colonoscopies there.
Melania's work has yielded incredible results, helping prepare our nation's future leaders as they enter the workforce. Our First Lady is joined by 2 impressive young women, very impressive. Haley Ferguson, who benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative and is poised to complete her education and become a teacher. And Elliston Berry, who became a victim of an illicit deepfake image produced by a peer. With Elliston's help, the Senate just passed the Take It Down Act, and this is so important. Thank you very much, John. John Thune, thank you. Stand up, John. Thank you, John. Thank you all very much. Thank you. And thank you to John Thune and the Senate. Great job. To criminalize the publication of such images online is a terrible, terrible thing. And once it passes the House, I look forward to signing that bill into law. Thank you. And I'm going to use that bill for myself, too, if you don't mind. Because nobody gets treated worse than I do online. Nobody. That's great. Thank you very much to the Senate. Thank you. But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21 million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers, gang members, and other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities all throughout the world. Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country, but we are getting them out and getting them out fast.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Democrats did that intentionally.
And I want to thank Tom Homan and Christy. I want to thank you and Paul of Border Patrol. I want to thank you. What a job they've all done. Everybody, Border Patrol, ICE, law enforcement in general is incredible. We have to take care of our law enforcement. Have to. Last year.
Are the Democrats standing for that one? A little bit?
A brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley
See
the
if they
best
stand
in
for
her
this one.
class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren.
Peace to their family.
Last year, I told Laken's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act. It's called the Laken-Riley Act.
We remember.
So Allison and Lauren, America will never, ever forget our
Signed.
beautiful
Thank you.
Laken Hope Riley.
Shout out to their family, man. And all similarly situated families. They're not the only ones.
Thank you very much. Since taking office, my administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history, and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you.
Amazing progress. And Joe Biden said he couldn't do anything about it, remember? I've done everything I can. I need Congress to act. No, you didn't.
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation, we must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
Pretty simple. Leadership. Will. Care for your country, crying out loud.
Thank you. Joe Biden didn't just open our borders, he flew illegal aliens over them to overwhelm our schools, hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like nobody's ever seen before. Beautiful towns destroyed. Now, just as I promised in my inaugural address, we are achieving the great liberation of America. But there still is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungari from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are 2 illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order?
Amazing. Rest in peace, Jocelyn. Shout out to Alexis and her family. Jocelyn's memory lives on. We're not going to forget Jocelyn. We're not going to forget Lake and Riley. Peace to these families, man. It's like a bomb goes off.
Thank you very much. All three savages charged with Jocelyn and Lakin's murders were members of the Venezuelan prison gang, the toughest gang, they say, in the world, known as Tren de Aragua. 2 weeks ago, I officially designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations. They are now officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them. Countless thousands of these terrorists were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration. But now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or, if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a warrior on the front lines of that battle, Border Patrol Agent Roberto Ortiz. Great guy.
What's up, Roberto Ortiz?
In January, Roberto and another agent were patrolling by the Rio Grande near an area known as Cartel Island. Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting at them, Roberto saw that his partner was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety, just barely. I have some of the prints of that event, and it was not good. Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great courage and for your line of fire that you took and for the bravery that you showed. We honor you, and we will always honor you. Thank you, Roberto, very much.
Thank you, Roberto. Roberto Ortiz in the house, securing our border for us. Thank you for doing that, sir. And a great name, too.
Thank you, Roberto. And I actually got to know him on my many calls to the border. He's a great gentleman. The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, rape, torture, and exercise total control. They have total control over a whole nation, posing a grave threat to our national security. The cartels are waging war on America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing.
We need to.
Five nights ago,
Democrats love drug
Mexican
cartels.
authorities,
See that?
because of our tariff policies being imposed on them, think of this, handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy. First time ever. But we need Mexico and Canada to do much more than they've done, and they have to stop the fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA. They're going to stop it. I have sent Congress a detailed funding request laying out exactly how we will eliminate these threats to protect our homeland and complete the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than current record holder President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a moderate man, but someone who believed very strongly in borders. Americans expect Congress to send me this funding without delay so I can sign it into law. So, Mr. Speaker, John Thune, both of you, I hope you're going to be able to do that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Mr. Leader, thank you. Thank you very much. And let's get it to me. I'll sign it so fast, you won't even believe it.
Let's go, Congress.
And as we reclaim our sovereignty, we must also bring back law and order to our cities and towns. In recent years, our justice system has been turned upside down by radical left lunatics. Many jurisdictions virtually ceased enforcing the law against dangerous repeat offenders while weaponizing law enforcement against political opponents like
Fannie
me.
Willis,
My
Alvin.
administration has acted swiftly and decisively to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law, starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck. Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck. Pam Bond. Good luck. So important. Going to do a great job. Cash, thank you.
And now here are
Thank
the
you, Cash.
Epstein files. Yeah. Are they in his jacket pocket? Cash, you got them in there?
They've already started very strong. They're going to do a fantastic job. You're going to be very proud of them. We're also once again giving our police officers the support, protection, and respect they so dearly deserve. They have to get it. They have such a hard, dangerous job, but we're going to make it less dangerous. The problem is the bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they soon will respect it. This also includes our great fire departments throughout the country. Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice. One year ago this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much.
What's up, Stephanie?
Thank you very much.
Prayers for Stephanie and her family.
Stephanie, we're going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest. And we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer. And tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law. I'm also asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed. Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
What's up, DJ? In the house. We love you back, brother. Heck yeah, DJ. Hilarious. Look at that outfit, man. 13 years old. DJ. Arrest Liz Cheney. Someone give that kid an indictment. Send her over to Cheney's house.
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
Amazing. What a miracle. Thank you, DJ, brother. Thank you for being here and inspiring us, my man. Amazing. What a story that is. Wow. Wow.
Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer, actually a number of times. The police love him, the police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Yeah, DJ! Woo! He's going to do a way better job than Kimberly Cheadle ever did. Kimberly Cheadle sitting at home like, yes! Put that kid on a roof, man. He could handle slopes, no problem. Amazing. Wow. Wow. Amazing. Wow. Wow.
Thank you, DJ. DJ's doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger. Since 1975, rates of child cancer have increased by more than 40%.
Wow.
Reversing this trend is one of the top priorities for our new presidential commission to make America healthy again, chaired by our new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, Jr.
Let's go, RFK Jr. We're going to be so dang healthy and jacked.
With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been cheering.
No, they like
how quickly
death.
they forget.
Yeah.
Our goal is to get toxins out of our environment, poisons out of our food supply, and keep our children healthy and strong. As an example, not long ago, and you can't even believe these numbers, 1 in 10,000 children had autism, 1 in 10,000, and now it's 1 in 36. There's something wrong, 1 in 36. Think of that. So we're going to find out what it is, and there's nobody better than Bobby and all of the people that are working with you. You have the best to figure out what is going on.
Over there.
Okay, Bobby, good luck. It's a very important job. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. Let's go. We need it.
Thank you. My administration is also working to protect our children from toxic ideologies in our schools. A few years ago, January, Little John and her husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly socially transitioned their 13-year-old little girl. Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronouns. They, them pronoun, actually.
Steal her kid.
All without telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate against this form of child abuse. January, thank you.
Thank you, January.
Thank you very much.
Stealing people's kids from them with gender ideology. Not even telling the parents. Democrats love it. Sick.
Thank you. Stories like this are why, shortly after taking office, I signed an executive order banning public schools from indoctrinating our children with transgender ideology.
Good.
I also signed an order to cut off all taxpayer funding to any institution that engages in the sexual mutilation of our youth.
Wild that even needed to be done, actually, in America. But thank you, Mr. President, for doing that.
And now I want Congress to pass a bill permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body.
Thank you, gosh.
This is a big lie.
Yeah, thank you. Democrats all...
And our message to every child in America is that you are perfect exactly the way God made you.
Yes, you are. And don't let anybody talk about your genitals with you.
Because we're getting wokeness out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so much better for it, don't we? Don't we feel better?
We do feel better for it. We never wanted it here.
Our service members won't be activists and ideologues. They will be fighters and warriors. They will fight for our country. And Pete, congratulations. Secretary of Defense, congratulations. And he's not big into the woke movement, I can tell you.
Banned it.
I know him well. I am pleased to report that in January, the U.S. Army had its single best recruiting month in 15 years, and that all armed services are having among the best recruiting results ever in the history of our services. What a difference.
Because you can actually be a soldier now and not a gender warrior.
It was just a few months ago where the results were exactly the opposite. We couldn't recruit anywhere. We couldn't recruit. Now we're having the best results just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People love our country again. It's very simple. They love our country, and they love being in our military again. So it's a great thing, and thank you very much. Great job.
Pete Hegseth, there's the cabinet, Bondi, Borgum, Besant.
We're joined tonight by a young man, Jason Hartley, who knows the weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a 6-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA.
Dang.
And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point.
.46. It's those AP classes, man. Sharp dude.
And Jason, that's a very big deal getting in. That's a hard one to get into. But I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining
go to West Point. Wow. Congratulations. Man. What a great day for everybody. DJ's going to the Secret Service. Jason's going to West Point. Wild.
Thank you. Jason, you're going to be on the long gray line, Jason. As Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA.
They were very excited there. They just weren't sharing that with you.
And Ronald Reagan wanted to do it long ago, but the technology just wasn't there, not even close. But now we have the technology. It's incredible, actually.
Let's do it.
And other places, they have it. Israel has it.
Yeah, Israel
other
has it.
places have it. And the United States should have it too, right, Tim, right? They should have it too. So I want to thank you. But it's a very, very important. This is a very dangerous world. We should have it. We want to be protected, and we're going to protect our citizens like never before. To boost our defense industrial base, we are also going to resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military shipbuilding. And for that purpose, I am announcing tonight that we will create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House and offer special tax incentives to bring this industry home to America where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact. To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it. Just today, a large American company announced they are buying both ports around the Panama Canal and lots of other things having to do with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals. The Panama Canal was built by Americans for Americans, not for others, but others could use it. But it was built at tremendous cost of American blood and treasure. 38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal. They died of malaria. They died of snake bites and mosquitoes. Not a nice place to work. They paid them very highly to go there, knowing there was a 25% chance that they would die. The most expensive project also that was ever built in our country's history, if you bring it up to modern day costs. It was given away by the Carter administration for $1.
Ridiculous.
But that agreement has been violated very severely. We didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
Steve Scalise in the house. Nancy Mace over there.
And we have Marco Rubio in charge. Good luck, Marco. Now,
Rubio's crushing right now.
we know who to blame if anything goes wrong. Marco's been amazing, and he's going to do a great job. Think of it. He got 100 votes. You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes. And I'm either very, very happy about that or I'm very concerned about it. But he's already proven. I mean, he's a great gentleman. He's respected by everybody, and we appreciate you voting for Marco.
He's doing a great
job. He's going to do a fantastic job.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
Thank you. He's doing a great job.
Big time.
Great job. And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security, and I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it.
Yeah, baby. Let's go, Mr. President.
We will keep you safe. We will make you rich, and together we will take Greenland to heights like you have never thought possible before. It's a very small population, but very, very large piece of land and very, very important for military security. America is once again standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country.
It was bad.
Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity, and he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice.
Good. Nicely done, Mr. President. That's a big victory. We lost 13 Americans from those terrorist attacks there. Because Biden's incompetent. People were falling off of the side of airplanes.
And I want to thank especially the government of Pakistan for helping arrest this monster. This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well, most of them, whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, so badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan. What a horrible day. Such incompetence was shown. That when Putin saw what happened, I guess he said, wow, maybe this is my chance. That's how bad it was. Should have never happened. Grossly incompetent people. I spoke to many of the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call. Every one of them called, and everybody was on the line, and they did nothing but cry with happiness. They were very happy, as happy as you can be under those circumstances. Their child, brother, sister, son, daughter was killed for no reason whatsoever. In the Middle East, we're bringing back our hostages from Gaza. In my first term, we achieved one of the most groundbreaking peace agreements in generations, the Abraham Accords. And now we're going to build on that foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future for the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. But a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood, actually. I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything. Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years?
Yeah, some of them do.
Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
Oh! Liz Warren in the face. Get off your phone, Liz. She's like, yeah, I do. I love war.
2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that. They're Russian young people. They're Ukrainian young people. They're not Americans. But I want it to stop. Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying Russian oil and gas than they have spent on defending Ukraine.
Yeah.
By far. Think of that.
Ridiculous.
They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending. And we've spent perhaps $350 billion, like taking candy from a baby. That's what happened. And they've spent $100 billion. What a difference that is. And we have an ocean separating us, and they don't. But we're getting along very well with them, and lots of good things are happening. Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe has spent by billions and billions of dollars. It's hard to believe that they wouldn't have stopped it and said at some point, come on, let's equalize. You got to be equal to us.
Look at
that
Elizabeth.
didn't happen. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago. Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful?
It would be
Wouldn't
nice
that be beautiful?
to bring a conclusion to this war. Thank you, Mr. President. Where are all the Ukraine flag people? Why is that guy not standing up?
Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Peace. Whatever.
It's time to stop this madness. It's time to halt the killing. It's time to end this senseless war. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides. Nearly 4 years ago, amid rising tensions, a history teacher named Mark Fogel was detained in Russia and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony. Rough stuff. The previous administration barely lifted a finger to help him. They knew he was innocent, but they had no idea where to begin. But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Maxine, that we would bring her boy safely back home. After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight.
What's up, Mark and Mama? Man, we love our mamas out there, especially mamas that rescue you from 14 years of penal colony work. You got the best mamas. Oh, pencil neck.
To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with us. As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania. Have you heard of it? Where his mother has lived for the past 78 years. I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally. That was not pleasant. And that is where I met his beautiful mom right before I walked onto that stage. And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And I never did I? Never forgot. Less than 10 minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged assassin unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch, but some were not so lucky. Cory, comparator, was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Cory knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own body. Cory was hit really hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs. 2 others, very fine people, were also seriously hit. But thankfully, with the help of 2 great country doctors, we thought they were gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Cory's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their 2 beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you.
Rest in peace, Cory. Man died a hero, jumping in front of bullets to save his family. And then they burned his body, Thomas Matthew Crooks' body, like 10 days later. We really don't know what happened there, but peace to their family.
To Helen, Allison, and Kaylee, Cory is looking down on his 3 beautiful ladies right now, and he is cheering you on. He loves you. He is cheering you on. Cory was taken from us much too soon, but his destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Cory's that built our country, and it's love like Cory's that is going to make our country more majestic than ever before. I believe that my life was saved that day in Butler for a very good reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that.
So do we. We saw it. It was a miracle. It was an impossibility, basically. And we're grateful for it.
Thank you very much. From the patriots of Lexington and Concord to the heroes of Gettysburg and Normandy, from the warriors who crossed the Delaware to the trailblazers who climbed the Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk to the astronauts who touched the moon, Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom. And as we have seen in this chamber tonight, that same strength, faith, love, and spirit is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American people. Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free, and we will fight for it till death, we will never let anything happen to our beloved country. Because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors crossed a vast ocean, strode into the unknown wilderness, and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier. They chased our destiny across a boundless continent. They built the railroads, laid the highways, and graced the world with American marvels like the Empire State Building, the mighty Hoover Dam, and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel.
Beautiful.
We stand on the shoulders of these pioneers who won and built the modern age. These workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities. These warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. Now it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty. And it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we are going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond.
Wow. Beautifully written there.
And through it all, we are going to rediscover the unstoppable power of the American spirit. And we are going to renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day, we will stand up and we will fight, fight, fight for the country our citizens believe in,
yes,
and for the country our people deserve.
Yes, we are going to do that, Mr. President. Thank you. Lauren Boebert back there.
Yeah!
We've all got to participate in this.
My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future, because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
God bless you, Mr. President!
There you have it, the State of the Union-like address, the joint session of Congress, the president returning to the presidency and giving his first speech to this joint body. You see the Democrats filing out. They sat on their hands almost the entire night tonight.
Bunch of whiny babies.
Even during, lovely addresses to cancer patients and people who have been killed by criminal migrants and their families.
They
but
sat
in the
there
beginning
just
of the
pouting.
speech tonight, Johnson had to actually gavel to order because it was so rambunctious in the chamber that he actually had to have Representative Al Green, who at least 3 times has called for the impeachment of President Trump and has done it again in this term, removed from the chamber. So this was a very rowdy opening to this speech that went on to do a lot in terms of listing
we'll follow
some
the president
wacky
out,
Doge
and then we'll do some
spendings
breakdown.
and much more.
And you see the president shaking the chart. Let's listen in here.
Get this place going. Thank you, sir. It's a great honor. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
You know, the Democrats' protest actually started before the president entered that chamber. The Democrats on the bipartisan escort committee, the group that walks the president in, did not show up for that job.
Judge Kavanaugh, Supreme Court.
The president touted the almost 100 executive orders, the 400 executive actions in 43 days that he said restored common sense. He spent a pretty good amount of time, as you mentioned, going through the specific.
All right, so that is Trump exiting the building. And I think that was probably the best address to Congress that we've ever heard in recent modern American history. It was an excellent speech. It hit a ton of high notes on what he's already done, what he intends to do. And I really enjoyed how he was aggressive with the Democrats, how he took it to them repeatedly and said, look, guys, we are in this position where we can create some major change on this issue, this issue, this issue. Can you please help? Calling them out directly to their faces. And what they were able to respond with was largely this. Okay, this is a meme that was captured by Markwayne Mullin, a senator who was presumably in the room. He posted this saying, guys, put the signs down, okay? This isn't a cattle auction, you idiots. And this is what they basically look like over there. TDS, 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 even on some of the most common issues. And people were saying they were rolling their eyes at DJ, who just got inducted into the Secret Service, who'll do a much better job than Kimberly Cheadle ever did. And they don't have much of a message other than to just double down on men and women's sports, double down on illegal immigrants killing 12-year-old girls, doubling down on autism rates screaming through the roof. It's nonstop with them. But here was even another clip. This was from earlier in the day. Trump walked out. This psycho representative named whatever, not important. She posted this sign out here, right? You see that down there in the bottom? This is not normal, is what she said. And somebody took care of that with haste. Let's listen here. Maybe there's no audio here, but you can see that sign is up. Watch this. Somebody's going to come take care of that real quick here in a second. Gone. Your sign is gone. Thanks for playing the game. All right. You saw this dude over here. Shout out to this dude right here, reaching over and snatching that sign. Shout out to that hero. I don't know who that guy was, but shout out to that dude. Okay. So that's what the Democrats got, their little protests. We also saw that Jasmine Crockett left the vicinity. She went out when I think they were talking about something or other. And then she posted this statement already. Okay, so she planned to walk out. She's such a drama queen that Jasmine posted this whole thing like she typed it up. Congresswoman Crockett issued the following. I walked out because I want my president when I go make another video. So she already typed it up, right? Knowing that as soon as she was going to exit, she was going to drop this pre-written statement. Okay, real organic. This guy, Al Green, got booted out and he went and talked to C-SPAN a little bit. Here's what he said after getting thrown out.
The president said he had a mandate. And I was making it clear to the president that he has no mandate to cut Medicaid. I have people who are very fearful. These are poor people, and they have only Medicaid in their life.
Okay, well, he's not talking about that. If they are legitimate recipients of Medicaid, they're not going to lose their Medicaid, okay? They're talking about waste, fraud, and abuse. They've said they're going to protect these programs at length. So stop your self-inflicted dramatization of the events, Al. Now, we also saw this was a hot mic that came in, and we commented on this at the beginning. We're like, oh, look, Johnson moved the mic around. That's because he got busted. Here's what he said.
By the way, I think the speech is going to be great, but I don't know how you do this for 90 minutes.
The hardest thing was doing it during Biden, when the speech was a stupid campaign speech.
I don't know how you do this for 90 minutes. Like, you just stand up and sit down for 90 minutes. It's going to be a great speech, but like, how do you do it for 90 minutes? Well, Joe Biden was the worst, man. He was like basically brain dead. And we had to sit there and listen to his campaign speeches. It had nothing to do with America. So absolutely hilarious. And yeah, that was Al Green. And so we were looking up who that was. Okay, so now, my friends, it is a beautiful day. Thank you for joining with us and going through that with us. History in the making. And I thought that was an amazing speech from the president. He had great energy. It was emotional. It was tactical. It was explanatory. We got to see what he'd accomplished, what the vision was for the future. We got little DJ, man, 13-year-old boy, now going into the Secret Service. And I think that you're going to see a lot of positive reaction there, especially in how muted the Democrat response will be. And we're going to, of course, see what you say about all of that right now. Let's see who's joining us in the house. We had some great comments coming in, starting with this comment from Tony Haymunkets. Man, we got a bunch of new membos coming in too. This is amazing. So Tony Haymunkets is bringing in Gary Sukimura in the house. Welcome, Gary Sukimura in the house. Great to have you as a new membo. We can't wait to see you on the membo streams. Kimberly, thank you, Kimberly, for becoming a membo as well. And Sheila Poo, a million hugs to you, is bringing in 10 new membos. We got a bunch of membos we're bringing in, so let's welcome them in. Welcome, new friends. Leo Driscoll, Robin Lane. We got Young Mac. Reviant is here. Matthew Reese, Rev68, James S., Slippin' Pete, John S., Panzer Deal, all gifted membos, courtesy of Sheila Poo. A million hugs to you. Thank you, Sheila, for bringing in 10 new membo friends. And we got a real big one from Bruce Rice Baby. What's up, Bruce Rice Baby? Bringing in a bunch of new membos. Let's welcome them in. We got Brian, Shanine, Pirate. We got Flamin' Flying Squirrel, Ranger Partners. We got Eddie Ramirez, Wreck Gear, Lewis G, Pesky Citizen, Mark R. We got Chris N. What's up, Geotherm? Clever Leah Twisted, Charles M. We got Al M. Jamina Janek, TG is here. The Patriarchy joined up. What's going on, William I? We got the Crackle, Stephen H. Hunters, Hooters, Yum, Yum, Yum. Also joined us. Hooters, Yum, Yum, Yum. Welcome. Yeah. Hey, Nathan, what's up? Natalia's here. T-Pay-G. We got Monica, Jennifer C., Neelis Solitude. We got Crystal, Red Bunny, Just Me, Michael T., Deborah S. What's up, Crash, Gigaping. We got Mangles, Craig, Lucky Dog, Charles, Tina, Capital, Last Living Old Cowboy. We got Jose Diaz, Raz. Dex is here, Man Network, Mark C. We got Caw Valley Crypto, Australian Nicole, and Monkey Spank. In the house, courtesy of Bruce Rice Baby. Dun. Thank you, Bruce, for bringing in 50 new membos. We love our membos here. What's up, Michelle? Says, while we were waiting, I would bet money that Matthew Crooks has some sort of connection to the swastika people in the Donbass, Ukraine. Yeah, definitely the second assassin, Ryan Ruth, right? He had a lot of connections with Ukraine. And why would you think that the Ukrainians would blow up Nord Stream pipelines and do intelligence operations in other arenas and not come here to the United States? What's up, Sheila Poo? Saying, don't forget to hit that like button if your thumbs are working tonight. Thanks for hitting them before you head out to bed. What's up, Curtis Bartle? 32 months as a membo here, Curtis. That's multiple babies. Thanks for supporting us all this time. Says, go Trump, go MAGA. Jennifer O'Connell is here. 3 months as a membo, 1/3 of the way to a full baby. Says, asking for prayers to finally get running water. We're going to send them your way, Jennifer. That's important stuff. Thanks for being here on the day. We Need Peace just joined up as a membo. Great to see you. We Need Peace. And Tasadaka on local says, the Democrats don't have an original individual thought between them. They are like the Borg, sharing one deranged mind. That is a great analogy. They are like the Borg. Yeah, and they say resistance is futile. They do the same thing. They're less effective than the Borg, though. The Borg were pretty effective. Jeremiah Greger, what's up? 7 months. Says, the MSM has been doing the same thing for a couple of years now. Yeah, it's a broken record. They're losing, and they're trying to figure out how to reverse that, which is why they are creating videos and copying, pasting each other's homework. Chris N. Thank you, Chris N. N. Thank you for being a membo. Says, best show on the internet. Thank you, Chris N. We try. Well, I don't know if that's accurate or not, but we certainly try. We want to be. It's aspirational. Hey, what's up? Zoji says, thank you, Rob. Have to go to bed. Yeah, it's a late night. It's way past my bedtime. Steve Lee, 10 months as a membo. Thank you, Steve. That's a baby +1. Says, don't forget to tap that like button. Thank you, Steve, for the encouragement. Scott Campbell says, always remember that the Latin word for left is sinister. Ergo, those on the left are sinister and evil. Robert Barnes suggested you. I'm happy he did. Man, shout out to Robert Barnes. We're grateful for Robert. Robert sends a lot of people over here and is an amazing dude. We appreciate Robert and all he does. So thank you for that, Scott. Shout out to Robert Barnes. And make sure you're following them over at vivabarneslaw.locals.com and right next door on the Rumbles when they do their Sunday shows. What's up, Colleen? Says, I'm not sure what is better, buying rare earth as we are from China or switch to Ukraine. I really just want to give Trump a little space to see how all this goes. Jeffrey Adams says, hey, just sent your find to Elon, re people hired behind the videos. I hope you get the truck. Hey, thank you, Jeffrey Adams. That'd be great. I'd love a cyber truck, man. That'd be cool. We could live stream from the truck and put some Starlink on there too. Come on, Elon. We're trying to help. Hey, G-Man. Thank you for doing that, Jeffrey Adams. Thank you. I mean, hopefully he sees it. Hey, what's up? G-Man says he effed around and has no cards to play. We should be getting 75% of what is mined now instead of 50, right? Every day you delay, we want 5 more points on the rare earths every day. White Fox Liz, so excited. Greatest place to watch this. Greatest people to watch with. White Fox Liz, that's because you're a part of our community. We have an amazing community. We love you. Thank you, White Fox Liz, for being here. What's up? Deluxe Knight says, happy Taco Tuesday. Everyone, including you, Rob, thank you. Says, enjoying my day planting wheat berries for future flour tortillas in my monster truck tractor. Keep up the awesome work, including everyone in our community. Look at this tractor, man. That is awesome. Deluxe Knight. We love our farmers. Shout out to our farmers, Deluxe Knight. You look amazing, dude. It looks like a great day. Beautiful day. Thanks for the share. Rob says, did anyone see the video of the Dem woman who accidentally said that the Dems speak lies to Trump's truths? Oops, she accidentally admitted the truth. I'll try to repost it on X. Yeah, we posted that today. We played that earlier today. Rob, thanks for the heads up on it. Hey, White Fox Liz says, kitties are reproducing like the Dems video. Oh, yeah, because kitties have like a bunch of little kittens all over the place, and they're just like multiplying like the Democrats copy and paste their short form. Thank you, White Fox. One old guy's opinion says, Nancy was looking pretty well medicated as usual. Yeah, she also looked like she was crying or something. Says Democrat antidepressant meds not working that much anymore. No, they're going to have to double up their doses tonight. Johnny 5, they call those folks gentlemen and women, yet half of them are nothing but carpetbaggers. Okay, politicians who just show up and grift. Thank you, Johnny 5. One old guy says Democrat cards are Uno cards and not poker cards. They're playing Uno while Trump is playing high stakes poker. Yeah, and Uno. Trump could be playing Uno. He just hits the reverse on him. Reverse. Oh, you indicted me? Reverse. They're like, Peng 1, 21 months as a member, says Democrats have become the Muppet babies of politics. Yeah. Except like less cute, right? The Muppets are kind of fun. Like, oh, look how kind of fun in there. No, the Democrats are not. They're just like a lot less interesting. One old guy's opinion says the Uno reference is to show that they give up cards in order to win. Like that, give away all of our tax money. Good to see you, one old guy. Waldo. What's up, Waldo? Chris Finney coming in as a member. Thanks, Waldo, for bringing him in. Chubby says, for some reason, I'm just in an irritable mood today, so I apologize. Was really debating, it's okay, we all get those moods, it happens to all of us. It's part of being human. Was really debating watching because I'm utterly disgusted with the behavior of the Democrats in both the House and the Senate. They're acting like petulant, spoiled children, and they seriously need some reprimanding and to just grow the F up. Yeah, well, I think the silver lining there, Chubby, is that they look like idiots, and they're showing all of America that, so kind of good for us. Rob, I found a problem with Grok. It says the body of water below is the Gulf of Mexico. They better fix that. Elon. King Ginger, 20 months as a membo, says Crockett is going to throw stuff at Trump. Well, she ran out of there. And that video that she posted was bizarre. She's like going nuts. Waldo, what's up? Thank you, Waldo, for bringing in Joseph Daniel. Welcome to the new, to the membo community. Rob said on Rumble, isn't there something called separation of McDonald's and state? There should be a separation of McDonald's and fat. Hey, what's up? Brian Rookard. Hey, a fellow attorney in the house, man. Shout out to our fellow attorneys out there. Throwing some support your way for your great content. Thank you, Brian. Man, and I hope your practice or whatever it is you're doing is working out amazingly. We love our fellow attorneys out there. We appreciate you being here, Brian. Thanks for supporting us, my man. Abraham says Scott Ritter's docu-expose called Agent Zelensky was banned instantly on YouTube. So check it out. It's on Rumble and other platforms. I'm not familiar with that one. Agent Zelensky. Interesting. Abraham Zinkin in the house. Thank you for that. Rob, with those videos from Democrat leaders, I doubt any Democrat claps for anything. More like a lot of crying over USAID and other agency gutting. That's basically accurate. Brian Hinkle says, Mr. President Trump, good job, sir. It was good. Knox is here. Another defense attorney in Texas says, hey, good evening, all. They be loving Trump tonight. Dems will have a hard time throwing shade. Yeah, and I think you're probably referencing like the crowd. It was very, very energetic. Dab gangsta. Da banksta. in the house. What's up, Da Banksta? Thank you for this very generous dono today. Says, hey, thanks for keeping us in the loop, Rob. Love your show. My dad loves your show. Hope I can grab you some donos at some point. Keep up the great work. Dad, Da Banksta in the house. Thank you for that, man. And shout out to your father, too. Shout out to Father Da Banksta and Son Da Banksta in the house. Thank you for sending some love our way and for being here today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a great stream to attend to. Glad you both were here. What's up? Philip Butler says, it's nice to see a young president of the Senate. Yeah, it is like John Thune, right? A little bit younger rather than McConnell, Senator Mitch McConnell. Rob says, Melania didn't have a big smile. She had a flat expression on her face when they jumped to her clapping. And then she smiled. Doanne Burrill. What's up, Doanne? Good to see you, Doanne. Thank you for the dono. Says, Dems are so on their heels right now. It's exquisite. Yeah, you can see it in their faces, right? It's like, are you sitting on something spiky? Like, why is your face so contorted? Colleen, careful, Rob. Don't fall over. I already have experience on that. Hey, Rob, Elon has a tie on. Where is yours? LOL. It's true. I know. Like Zelensky's rubbing off on me or something. Shoot, I should have I wore a red shirt at least, but you're right. Okay, next time. Deluxe Night. It really doesn't matter where a person lands on the financial scale. Everyone budgets their household. If no family can stay in that budget, no family can prosper, just like our country with Democrats spending the past 4 years. Along with Democrat pushed minimum wage raises and expectations that minimum wage would get everyone a house, no one ever talks about the fact that raising that wage causes inflation, costing more just to produce those same goods and services. From Deluxe Night in the house. Yeah, we get it from both ends, taxes and inflation. One old guy says the first Democrat to stand is called the Geico Caveman. G-Men says, get Al Green out of here. Toss him out. Rob, arrest the insurrectors. One old guy. So easy, even a caveman can do it. Geico Caveman Al Green. Doanne Burrill says the Reverend Al Green, ladies and gems. Hey, Hallie P, what's up? Says these clowns are solidified in pink, but just voted against women. I don't get it. Please, dear God, make it make sense. Yeah, I don't know. Do the Democrats fight for women at all anymore? I don't think so. Like, they used to be the party of women's rights, right? They used to say that, like abortion and all these things. We care about women and equal. Now it's like we care about trans in women's sports, even if they're bench pressing 100 pounds more than them. And they all sit on their hands. I think it's a bad issue for them, so they can continue it. Hey, Social Crusader says, thanks for hosting this, Rob. I knew the community could count on you. Well, yeah, we weren't going to miss this, Social Crusader. Thanks for joining us here, and thanks for the dono and the support. This was a big one, and I'm glad we got to spend it together. Thanks for joining us. Doanne Burrill says, pundits warned he'd go straight for the jugular. He wasn't that aggressive. Like, he dunked on Elizabeth Warren. He wasn't too aggressive, but he just looked at him. Hey, guys, like, we're trying to save a country here. Are you a part of the country or not? The analogy that we've used here repeatedly is, like, Trump is the star quarterback of the team. They hate the star quarterback. Like, he makes all the plays. Everybody pays attention. They hate him. So they're not playing. They're on the sideline. And they'd rather spite and sacrifice their own win to stop the star quarterback from getting accolades. But you're like, it's your team, though. Like, your team's going to win if he does well. Like, we don't care. American Trucker says, like this video. Michael W. says, the squad became the Lollipop Guild. Yeah, the Lollipop Guild with their little stupid lollipops. American Trucker says, and shared this video and sent in a dono with a nice smiley. Thank you, American Trucker. Doanne Burrill says Trump really wanted to name it the Gulf of America, the Gulf, so he could take his driver out there and put some holes. Doanne, the U.S. is thought to have 13 million metric trucks of rare earth minerals, more than enough to sustain a thriving technological infrastructure. Yeah, I mean, we've got a big country here. We have nothing, really. You're still a clown, says Magavelli says, Viva Trump, Magavelli, Viva Trump. Ray Ronk, what's up, Ray Ronk? Says, I am more and more proud to be an American with every single day. It just keeps getting better and better. It really does feel good to have somebody at the helm who is speaking in this way about America. We can be the best in the world. We're going to be a technologically advanced civilization with the best living standards, and we can do it. Like, we can do it. We don't need to talk about how bad America is at every turn. Goose Toots, 10 months as a membo, baby +1, says Trump is making America great again, baby, in the house. Milo Phone Bill says, how about that NGO being paid $18 million per month in Pecos, Texas for an empty building? Yeah, I'm not as familiar with that one, but it sounds directionally accurate. Thank you, Milo. Gene Crane says, how scary if Schumer and Pelosi had a baby? Oh my gosh. We'd probably be like AOC, right? Hey, what's up? Rob says, Dems should not have come if all they have is bad attitudes and they're unthankful like Zelensky was. Afuera, afuera, afuera. What's up? Gus Swayze. 7 months as a member. 2 months to go. We got full-term baby here. Says, thank you for the great content. Thank you, Gus Swayze, for supporting us for 7 months. Really appreciate that. Doan, send in 2. Thune was smart to finally ditch McConnell. And is this a good time to announce a few subpoenas? Yeah, I was kind of hopeful that like Trump's like, okay, and guess what? Kash Patel brought the Epstein files with him. Bring in the wheelbarrows. And a bunch of, people come in with wheelbarrows full of banker boxes full of files and just dump them out in front of all of us to see. But that didn't happen. Hey, what's up? Knox says, that is a beautiful bird estuary. There is a beautiful bird estuary in Galveston. Trump brought a tear to my eye. Rest in peace, sweetie. Oh, okay. So what he renamed to Jocelyn, the Jocelyn Sanctuary, is a beautiful bird estuary. Wow. Amazing. Knox. Okay. The kiddo getting sworn in as Secret Service agent has me bawling my eyes out. That was emotional. That little kid, man, his eyes were like, what? I'm going to the Secret Service? This is crazy. It was great. G-Men, making that kid Secret Service was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. How can you say that man doesn't have a heart? That was beautiful. The kid's eyes bulged. Yeah, right? Yeah, it's like that hit for sure. Colleen, he sure does know how to make a point. No doubt. Doan says Trump is turning the White House into a business hub. Well, he's facilitating the operation of America. And America is, in many ways, right? It's the economy that he's helping to facilitate. We love it. What's up, Villa Plot? Hey, says, thank you for hosting this, Rob. And thank you, watchers, for watching with me from Villa Plot. Yes, indeed. Thanks for that. Look, there we are with all these little kitties around. I don't know if that's a real photo or not, but thank you for that, Villa Plot. Those kitties are going to be highly educated on MAGA. Michelle says Trump is focusing on what a president should. Line items too big for one state to accomplish on its own. Right. And that's essentially what the federal government should do. Things that they're delegated to do and things that we can't do on our own. They don't need to come in here and run everything from 3,000 miles away. Doan Burrill, Dems mess with Z and hand Trump a political win, and Putin the tactical field advantage and the moral high ground. They are total imbeciles. That is true. Yeah, that is true. They actually, I think, harm themselves by throwing their hissy fit. Alan Harkin. Alan, thank you for this nice dono. Great to see you, Alan. Thank you, Rob, for being the host tonight and for this awe-inspiring patriotic speech by our man, the Donald. Great job, Rob. Thank you, Alan. Thanks for joining with us. It's not much heavy lifting for me. Hey, Mr. President, the floor is yours. Thank you, sir. And I have a lot of fun hanging with you, Alan. Thanks for the nice dono. Great to see you again. Colleen, did you notice his tie was blue and yellow? Yeah, there were several of them with like that Ukraine blue and yellow striped tie gag. Chris Slap, what's up, Chris? Thank you for joining and being a membo. First super on a live stream. First one's the hardest, gets easier from there, as they say. Chris, Rob, thanks for making watching State of the Unions great again. We did it together, Chris. Thanks for being on this journey with us. Hey, Dominus Vobiscum says, here's a news tip, believe it or not. A world teacher will be seen by all, not as a religious figure, though. The guy's name is Benjamin Cream something. All right, so take a look at that one from Dominus. Interesting. Hey, Duckfat on Rumble says Donald Trump would have climbed up the roof of that Butler. Oh, DJ, not Donald. DJ would have climbed up that roof in Butler. I guarantee it. That DJ would have been doing cartwheels up there. Like Jason Bourne. Like Neo. Moving bullets around. Kimberly Cheeto's like, but it was a 3-degree slope, so be careful up there, DJ. Hey, Doan says Jasmine Crickets, like for Jasmine Crockett. Elf. Great to see you, Elf. Thank you for bringing in 10 new membos. Nug Dog. We got John Matthew, Miss Seeker. We got Sass Britches, Florida Bitcoiner. What's up, James Picorella? We got Global, Foth Tracks, H-Town Racing, and Patrick 7 gifted membos courtesy of Elf. ELF in the house. Hey, Archlord Dune Rider says Al Green is bargain basement Al Sharpton. Yeah, and I think wasn't Al Sharpton like store brand Reverend Jackson? So yeah, it's kind of like a copy of a copy of a copy, Xeroxes, right? Rob, make a meme of that woman holding the sign, "This is not normal," with an arrow pointing to the woman. Ha ha. We got Tammy Futagawa in the house, became a supporter. Thank you, Tammy, for joining up. We'll see you on the Membo streams. We got Colleen says, Democrats fearmonger Medicaid, Social Security, and Medicare. I know, and I am finally getting over it. Yeah, they do that constantly. They just create fearful stories to try to scare people. Torin Chad says, I thought Al Green was a senile pimp that wandered in by accident. Oh, yeah, with his cane? Yeah, that's funny, Torin. It resembles. Pookie's Ma says, my favorite part was JD's reactions. Yeah, he was kind of mean-mugging the left, wasn't he? Kind of over there, like, you people are disgusting. Thank you, Pookie's Ma. Dove7 says, Trump was great, and also saying it is with God's help. And also, yeah, you're right about that, yeah. It was a miracle, man, that his head didn't get exploded. It was a miracle. What's up? Ex-Mariner says, Trump even remembered American shipyards. This is not a small thing. Yeah, and I appreciated that, Ex-Mariner. I think, and you might know better than anybody, but this has been a problem because the Chinese are pumping out ships like 10-1 in comparison to America. And by the way, I also saw their EVs now in China have like drone assembly things so you can launch a drone from your EV. Okay. And by the way, all their ships in China, my understanding is even the consumer grade ships have to be made up to military standards. So that basically when it is wartime, any consumer boat that was sold could be repurposed into a military boat. And all the domestic manufacturers have to comply with those standards. So it's a big deal. And the United States is getting blown away. Same with nuclear power too in China, blown away. And if you look at the G7 total GDP versus China plus the BRICS countries GDP, they're beating the Western countries. So that's all happening. Doanne Burrill, what's up? Thank you for sending the dono in, but retracting the message. I'm sure it was brilliant. We'll catch it next time. Hey, what's up? Jigum says, in honor of Lake and Riley, I give you all my coin. Jigum, thank you for that. Hey, really nice of you to send that dono in. We appreciate it. I says, thanks for streaming live tonight. No other place better to watch it. Thank you, Jigum. I'm really glad you joined us. I know a lot of people stream this stuff, and it's a real honor to be able to spend the night with you. So thank you, Jigum. Not in that way, you know what I mean? Hey, what's going on? Dove7, thank you for not making us hear the Democrat remarks. Oh, yeah, that CIA agent called Alyssa Slotkin, who's ex-CIA, is going to be delivering the speech. No one cares. Milo Phone Bill says Al Green was booted for heckling, and then he says he was trying to say something about Medicaid. Yeah, that's what he said. This old guy says, tonight was not a good night to be a Democrat. Good to see you, this old guy. Thanks, watchers, and Rob for sharing it with me. Thank you, this old guy, for joining us. I agree. They looked petulant. Trump looked direct. He looked in command. And I think they're going to have a bad response to this. We'll see what Slotkin says tomorrow, but I don't think it's going to be anything meaningful. Deluxe Knight, did anyone else notice the Pocahontas Whitmer was wearing the exact same outfit from her robot video with the Democrats? I didn't see that, no. So did she publish her video, record and publish her video today? Is that what it was? Incognito Mode, bringing in 10 new membos. Thank you, Incognito Mode, for being a membo, bringing in 10 more. Neil Decker, welcome. Angie M, what's up? Moto Mama, Fire Captain. We got Median Dev, Odin Customs, Chris Gonzalez, Stephanie Roussel, Epstein Slayer in the house, Jeff, and Just On, a.k.a. Soulless Ginger, shouting out Incognito Mode for bringing in 10 new membos. Peng 1 is here, bringing in 5 more. Thank you, Peng 1. Stacy Pruitt, Bobby's here. Lee Warren, True Crime Grammy, and Bubbles and Cashmere in the house. Thank you, Peng 1, for bringing in 5 new membos. And Torin Chad says, I was feeling fairly misanthropic today. A lot of negativity with the Dems crying about everything Trump's doing, and even some of the reps getting upset about things not happening fast enough. It's been getting me down, but this speech really helped me. But let me say, the Dems sitting around and sour-faced during Trump's DJ's induction into the Secret Service and his happiness made me sick. See, this is what I'm saying. They are truly evil and childish, all because it has to do with Trump, really. That little boy made me smile so big. And the Dems are just miserable. They're just miserable, and you can feel it. And you don't want to be a part of misery. You want to be a part of the winning team, and that energy is on Team MAGA. Great comment, Torin. It is sick. Tanya says, hey, Tanya Karras with a nice dono. Thank you so much for your time, Rob. Thank you, Tanya, for being here and for being you. And happy Taco Tuesday to you. G-Men, no balls in women's stalls by Dr. Seuss. Yeah. And that's hilarious. All right, what's up? Tracy Bischoff. Thank you for that, G-Man. Hey, Tracy Bischoff. I'm a veteran biker loyalist. Retired submariner, go figure, but I love your output. Well, thank you, Tracy, for that. You sent in a very nice dono. A veteran biker loyalist. Like, I don't know exactly what that is, but if you're a veteran, we appreciate your service to our country. And it sounds like a retired submariner, so maybe in the Navy. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, Tracy. Thanks for the nice dono. Thanks for joining us. Combat Boot Mom, great to see you. Super disgusted that the Dems couldn't even stand to acknowledge grieving survivors and DJ's cancer remission. Can they get any lower? No. Things are looking up, though. Yeah, just Rhonda, I just said the same thing to my daughter. Yeah. And those clips are going to go around and around and around. They're miserable. You can see it on their faces. Hey, what's up? Doanne. Yeah, Senator Alyssa Slotkin, Democrat from Michigan, is an ex-CIA, like literally an ex-CIA agent. So she's going to give a rebuttal. Canton Hag. What's up, Canton Hag? Thanks for becoming a supporter. Art Pollard is here. Says, JD should do a planned hot mic. You know, how's the aliens at the spaceport? They're throwing a rockin' party at Area 51. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I was late here, but I had to stop by the, the alien thing going on. And Johnson's like, oh, I know the aliens. That was crazy. I can't believe I got a call about that last night. You saw them too? What'd you think? Oh, take the mic off. We're like, what? Thank you, Art. K-Bean, if you want Rob to wear a suit, you'd better be paying and paying well. Otherwise, go sit in the back. Thank you, K-Bean. Yeah, it's like I have to suit up for court for sure. I have to suit up for court for sure. Maybe we'll get an invite to the White House. Yeah, that would be fun. I don't mind wearing a suit. I prefer not to. This is a lot more comfortable, but it's fun. It's appropriate times. If I get invited to the White House, we're suiting up for sure. Thank you, K-Bean. K-Bean, modding the fort down for us. We love you, K-Bean. Thanks for being here tonight for this extra long stream and modding the fort down for us. What's up? Chat with me. Trump set up the Dems in his opening statement. They almost couldn't stand at a spite because they didn't stand for someone like DJ, and those who had lost family, they looked petulant. Yeah. Deluxe Knight says, had a typo on my previous chat. Pocahontas Warren, not Whitmer. Don't know how I goofed that one, but I did. I think we picked up what you were putting down, Deluxe. Thanks for the correction. But yeah, Pocahontas Elizabeth Warren. Yeah, she was on her phone all night and, shaking her head at Trump. Man, she's terrible. Sousin says, Trump called the Dems out big time. I loved watching them squirm. Yeah, looking at them, right? Pointing his finger at them. You people. Just like what he did with the governor of Maine when he's like, are you gonna comply with my order or not? No? Okay, we'll see you in court. Incognito mode, bring it in. 5 more membos. Thank you, Incognito mode, for this. Texas Sunshine, welcome. Meg is here. Cyrus Draken, Sandy Thompson, Becky Bridges, gifted membos, courtesy of Incognito mode. Thank you for that, Incognito. Hey, chat with me. Says, thank you video from those he honored tonight. So they just posted this. Thank you, Mr. President. Of the people who were there in the room. Amazing. Knox is here. Hey, good night all. And thank you, Rob, for hosting a most fabulous evening. Thank you, Knox, for being here. Sleep well. Sweetest of dreams to you. Deluxe says, I loved Trump's address to the American farmers. I knew he was cooking something over there, and I didn't stress like a lot of other farmers in my local community. Make American farming great again. Stop importing our food. I couldn't agree more. We raise the best produce and can outproduce our own consumption, hence why we export a lot to the rest of the world. Yeah, I don't want beef from China or something. We got great farmers here, plenty of land. Why can't we grow our own food here? I mean, I can't. I'm not that capable. But our amazing farmers, like Deluxe Knight, should. Hey, what's up, Glenn Croy? Thank you, Glenn, for bringing in 10 friends. What's up, Philippi Burke? We got Blankless is here. Teresa R. TK Jimmy. Hate the Man is here. Okie Dairy Goat Farm, welcome. K Bear, Emmanuel Mendoza, John Scone, and Hope Neff, gifted membos, courtesy of Glenn Croy. Thank you, Glenn, for bringing in new membos, 10 of them. We love you. Hey, Lueva Gnome, over on Rumble. Thank you for this. Thank you, Lueva. Thanks for the dono and for being a membo over there. We appreciate you. John Allen. Just because you work so hard, Rob, and shout out to all the amazing watchers. We are many. John Allen, great to see you, John. Been a little while. Great to have you back. Thanks for the nice dono. Sergeant GPS says, hey, Mama G, if you're listening, the Dems were a bunch of jerks tonight, man. They were, Sergeant. They were jerks. Definitely. Mama G. You can unplug your ears now. John Allen, Hunter's crack dealer is here. It's been a while since we've heard from Hunter's crack dealer. Here's what he said, though. Says, is someone going to let me know if all the Dems are going to jail or not? Hunter's crack dealer. I mean, I need a little warning if I'm going to need to replace my clients. Even Hunter's gone quiet. Afuera. Oops, I didn't mean to say that out loud. From Hunter's crack dealer. Yeah, the Dems are going to jail. And you might be too, Hunter's crack dealer. Unless you can help us indict more Democrats. We'll be in touch. Tyler, hey, curious where you got your info on China. I get most of mine from the China Show here on YouTube, and I feel like maybe you watch a lot of CCP Prop if you think that they do anything as good. They sure make a lot of it. Well, I don't know. I think I just read basically the stuff that we talk about here. I don't have any like specific China source that I look to. I think I just read kind of the smattering of everything that we all read. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I've been to China. I mean, I went to Beijing and to Shanghai not that long ago, and they're building a real country there. Like, it's not like a joke. So their buildings are nuts. It's crazy. It's pretty crazy over there. So it's like if we're sitting here in the United States like, oh, we have the best living in the world or something. It's like, hold on a minute now. Okay, we've had a lot of grift and graft over the last 40 years. We're living on a prior generation's great works. Now we have to create our own great works. So I do think China they're not playing around. They got self-driving cars. They steal all of our stuff. So maybe I'm wrong. Thank you, Tyler. I'll have to check it out. White Fox Liz says, it's past my bedtime, but thanks to you and everyone for a great evening. Great to see you, White Fox. Sleep very well. The sweetest of dreams coming your way. G-Gum, the Field of Greens GIF, which is not going to play right now, but remember, the vegetables want to be eaten, and G-Gum, our meme smith extraordinaire, sent that one in, and that's the vegetables all dancing because they all want to be eaten. Hey, what's up, Matthew Birch? Matthew, thank you for the nice dono as we round out the night. Really grateful for that one. Let's say hello to our friends on X very quickly before we wrap up and go over to locals, just for a quick debrief, just to say goodnight for a little bit. Let's see what's on X. See if we had anybody join us over there on the night. Where is our live stream? Aha, here it is. Here's what we got. Here's one from Wizardry Computer. Hey, here's someone getting ejected from America. Nancy Pelosi. This came over from Wizardry Computing. Get out. Bye, Nancy. Hey, B Torn, great to see you. Good to see you, B Torn. What's up, Mini Tika? Sharing the Rumble link. Great to see you, Mini Tika. We got Rob over from Rumble. Tibarama says this was a great speech, man. Great speech from our president. And your comments were good too. That's good. I tried, hopefully I didn't ruin it with my little jokes. Hey, what's up, Darby? Hopefully Doge will become a federal agency. Man, if that was a challenge coin, I'd definitely buy that. Federal Agency for Financial Oversight. FAFO. Financial Agency for Financial Oversight. I love it. Darby Shaw, what's up? And Craig, great to see you, Craig. Says, hey, appreciate the YouTube videos. Love watching the stream right now. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you for that. Darby, great. Thank you for that one. What are these Democrats doing dressing in pink? Totally ridiculous. I know. All right. And so, my friends, we're heading over to locals to debrief for a bit. Let's see what else we had coming in. Well, that's scary. Glenn is here. What's up, Glenn? Bringing in 10 new membos. Thank you, Glenn. Sherry D. We got Harbinger of the Unconventional. We got Barb K. Catherine Verlardi. We got French Fry. AK Brenda Robert. We got Troublemaker Jonah, Dexter and Friends, Travis and Greg Barrett. Gifted membos courtesy of Glenn. Thank you, Glenn, for bringing in 10 new membo friends. And G-Men says, I don't even mind subsidizing farmers for a bit if tariffs are going to hurt them. Yeah, I think that might be necessary, right? And I think Trump kind of mentioned that at the speech today. Like, hang on, like we're going to take care of you while this transition happens, but we need it. Short-term pain for long-term gain. John Allen, Rob, brother, I've been here all the time working and lurking. LOL. Well, it's good to see you, John. I'm glad you're hanging and lurking, and hopefully the working is going well, and I'm glad you're here. G-Men says they have a ton of boats, but look at the tonnage of their ships. It's a huge difference. They are out producing us big time, though. Check out Orca, though, our new drone sub. It's amazing, and it can be manufactured fast. That sounds awesome. I think my concern with China is they also have the drone technology totally buttoned up. Like, they make the drones. We don't make drones. We're trying to, and Anderl and Palmer Luckey and those guys are working hard on it. But I think what you're saying, G-Man, also reigns true, but like an aircraft carrier might be taken out by a drone swarm, right? It's like you can have many big boats, but if you have a ton of smaller things that can swarm and cause damage, it might be better to have more small than fewer big. Might be the new warfare. Pookie's Ma, almost midnight, so nighty night. Thanks for the coverage, Rob. Yeah, it's definitely getting late over there on the East Coast. And here, it's almost 10 here. So, my friends, thank you so much for joining us on this very historic and epic night. I think maybe the best State of the Union we will ever hear. It was a historic one at the right moment in time during this transition where a lot of progress can be made. So I thought it captured the moment in a way that is hard to do in general. And it was a very beautiful speech. So it was a real treat to be able to spend the night with you talking through it. Spud sent this one in as we wrap it up. Bringing in 5 membos. We got Bright Eyes, The Light Life, Sailor Girl, Gypsy Pilot, and Jason McGee. Gifted membos. All good stuff. And so, my friends, we are going to leave it there on the night. We're heading over to Locals, watching the Watchers. .locals.com to debrief for just a few minutes, and then we'll call it a night. Of course, we will be back tomorrow. But we want to thank our amazing mods and meansmiths. K-Bean, Donut, Carrie B, Playin' Hooky, Dog Digger, Jan Eck, and of course, our friend Geegum Geegum, who memed the heck out of this place for us. We're appreciative of everybody who keeps this show on the track. And so, my friends, we are going to leave it there. On the night, we're going over to watchingthewatchers.locals.com. We're going to debrief for a bit. We'd love to see you come and join us. But if not, we're coming back tomorrow to get into it again. There'll be Fallout and more. And I can't wait to see you back here. And so when we come back tomorrow, we are going to need to see you right back here so that together, with your help, we can shine that big, beautiful spotlight of accountability and transparency down upon our system with the hope of finding justice. Make it a beautiful night, my friends. Sleep very well. I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.